What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are well. Just waiting for people to come in. So yeah, I promised that I would go live. I promised that I would do a live stream. And let's see how many people turn up today. I want to talk Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo. Get asking me your questions. Get asking me what you want to ask me. But yeah, we've got some big fights coming up. We've got Canelo Saunders coming up May 8th. We've got Ramirez and Josh Taylor. We've got AJ Fury in the pipeline as well. We've got some big fights coming up, man. We've got some big fights, and hopefully I'm going to start doing more live streams as the fights happen. I'm going to be doing some more live streams as well. So yeah, hopefully, depending on how these live streams go, how many people turn up, I'm going to be doing more and more live streams. And also, what I'm planning to do is do like interviews, do interviews with my brother, with fans on my Facebook group, or just do more and more live streams. So yeah, hopefully we have a good turnout. So far, we've got one person in the stream. So the more we can get, the better. And hopefully we have questions coming in so I can answer some questions. So the two people in the live stream right now, any questions, anything you want to ask me, go ahead and ask me your questions. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think of the quality of the live stream, the picture, the background, the lighting. If you think that I need to improve anything, just let me know, and I'll look to improve it. But yeah, so yeah, we've got Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo coming up May the 8th, and I'm really looking forward to that fight. That's a monster fight. It's a huge fight, actually. It's a fight that I've been talking about for a very long time, and a fight that I wanted to see because I want to see how good Billy Joe Saunders is. I want to see whether Billy Joe Saunders can give someone like Canelo a hard fight, can make it competitive. Because to be honest with you, I don't think many people are giving him much of a chance, not even here in the UK, apart from his hardcore fans. And there's not many people that are giving Billy Joe Saunders much of a chance in that fight. And some of his fans think I'm being harsh in some of the videos that I make, saying that I don't think, that he hasn't got a chance. But to be honest with you, Billy Joe Saunders' resume is not great. And Canelo right now is just on another level. So it's going to be hard for anyone to beat Canelo right now. And when I mean hard to beat Canelo right now, I'm talking not just 168, 160. I'm talking 175. I can even see him, like, for me, the hardest fight for Canelo at 175 is Beterbiev. And I would favor Canelo in that fight. I think Canelo can beat Beterbiev. So you imagine how highly I rate someone like Canelo, that I think he could go to 175, beat a guy like Beterbiev, who a lot of people think Beterbiev is a killer right now. A lot of people think Beterbiev is at 175 is going to be very difficult to beat him. But I genuinely do think, hi, you all right, Cole? How's it going? Yeah, I genuinely think it's going to be difficult for anybody to beat Canelo right now. So, Cole, you got any questions? Any questions you want to send my way? I'm good, Brendan. How are you? Send any questions, So yeah, we're just talking about Canelo and Saunders, the fact that how difficult a task it is for Saunders going in there against the pound for pound best in the world right now. Like I said, people think I'm being harsh on Saunders by saying that he hasn't got a great chance. But I genuinely don't think that there's many guys out there that can beat someone like Canelo right now at 168, 160, or 175. I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to beat him, to be honest with you. Because Canelo right now, his level he's on another level. He's on another level. Like I was speaking to someone earlier about the fight that I really want to see Canelo have. Like first, I want him to fulfill his ambition to become undisputed. And I'm not disrespecting Caleb Plant or Billy Joe Saunders, right? Because at the end of the day, they're going to come, they're champions, they're undefeated, and they're going to come and bring it. But I don't see them beating Canelo. I just don't see them being able to beat Canelo. I think the only fight for Canelo is at Billy Joe Hamza, how are you? Billy Joe Saunders is on vacation. He's on vacation where? No, he's to be honest, all of that stuff with Billy Joe Saunders, I feel like Billy Joe Saunders is just playing a game. Like with all the injuries and with all the stuff that he's coming out with about eating rubbish and eating crap. I think that's all nonsense. Billy Joe Saunders is training very, very hard. It's just that he's trying to give a false message to us. I've said it before. Canelo seems virtually unbeatable. Yeah, he is. He is. You've got to say right now, who's beating Canelo? No one's going to beat Canelo right now. I don't see it, to be honest with you. I don't see it. I might be wrong, and I might be overestimating Canelo, Brendan, but I don't think there's anyone at 168 or 160 that even is going to give him a tough fight. I think the only guy that can potentially beat him, and by the way, I won't be picking him either, is Beterbiev at 175. And I won't even be picking him. If they were to fight in 6 months' time, I won't pick Beterbiev to win that fight. Yeah, and in 160, 168, no chance. Canelo's the best right now. There's no one in those weight classes for me, right, that beats him. Canelo will knock out Saunders in 9 rounds. I see it clearly. Weight will tell. Yeah, I think so as well. I think Canelo will hurt. So listen, what is Billy Joe going to do? Billy Joe is going to come. Billy Joe is going to try making it awkward. He's going to try not get hit. He's going to move around the ring, make it difficult, use his movement. But how are you going to stay away from Canelo? Canelo's not just a brawler. Canelo's not just a guy that comes in the ring looking to take your head off. Canelo's there. Canelo's a very good boxer. Canelo's not a brawler. He's not a Lemieux, one-dimensional fighter. So Bivol is the only one that I think can outbox Canelo. Bivol, possibly. To be honest, Bivol right now, his resume is not great either. Like who's he beat? You know, when we're talking about Canelo, look at the guy's resume. The guy's fought everybody. What style has Canelo not seen? He's seen every style. Cole Cran, my friend's telling me Canelo can't win because he struggles with southpaws, but there is levels to boxing. Canelo is pound for pound, and he has to improve so much, and he's improved so much in the last 4 years. Struggles with southpaws. When was the last time he fought a southpaw? Last time he fought a southpaw was against Alexander Lara, right? And I felt he nicked that fight. That was a close fight, but how long ago was that? Like, people keep saying that Canelo struggles against southpaws and Billy Joe Saunders has the style to beat him. Why do people keep saying that? Doesn't Canelo have the style to trouble Billy Joe Saunders? He's a great boxer that can punch. Isn't that style going to trouble Saunders? Why are we always talking about Saunders' style is going to trouble Canelo? Canelo's style is going to trouble Saunders a lot. Eric Gomez, I feel Saunders will be a tougher for Canelo than Plant, but I have Canelo beating both. I think Plant's very good. I think Plant's a very good fighter. Again, his resume is poor. He hasn't really fought anybody, so it's hard. It's hard for me to sit here and say, well, because I've not really seen him against the top-notch guys. You know, I'd love to see Caleb Plant fight Benavidez. But Caleb Plant ain't going to fight Benavidez because Caleb Plant is waiting for that Canelo paycheck. So he knows he fights Benavidez, loses to Benavidez, the Canelo fight's gone. Pro boxers, no way Canelo losing to Saunders. Yeah, I agree. I agree, pro boxers. I don't think Canelo's going to lose to Saunders. I just can't see it. I can't picture him. Losing to Saunders. I just don't see how this guy's going to look to outbox him, be slick for 12 rounds. But Canelo's too good. A boxer punches too hard. How are you going to be able to outbox someone for 12 rounds that's that good a boxer that punches that hard? Canelo can do everything. He can box. He can go toe to toe. He's become a very good pressure fighter. how is I just don't see how Saunders wins. You know, if I'm wrong after the fight, I'll make a video and say, look, I was wrong. I can't see it. I can't see it. You know, I just can't see it. I can't see how Plant as well. Plant's a bigger guy. Plant's also slick. He's got good feet. But again, no power. How are you going to keep Canelo off? Nah, I can't see it. Do more live vids. Yeah, I will. I'll be doing one hopefully every day from now. Saunders needs to be 100% perfect. Conditioning, footwork mainly. Yeah. His footwork has to be on point. 12 rounds, concentration. See, here's another thing. You know, when you got a guy like Canelo who's like a bull, so strong, he's literally there all the time. He's on you all the time. And when he fought Amir Khan, right? Amir Khan was moving. He was so fast. But you know what got to him? It's like that mental pressure. The guy's always there and you can't hurt him. And you know he can hurt you, right? Just imagine I'm in a ring with someone, right? And I know I can't hurt this guy, but this guy can hurt me. He can do serious damage to me. That in itself is scary. The thought of that is scary, that I can't get hit with this guy, because if he hits me, he's going to hurt me. Saunders can't hurt Canelo. Canelo can hurt him, right? And then Canelo's not a wild puncher like Lemieux. He's not wild. He's not one-dimensional. So I just, like I said, it's very difficult for Saunders, to be honest with you. Very, very difficult. And the conditioning, Saunders never had good conditioning. Go back and watch his Eubank fight. Go back, watch his Andy Lee fight. Towards the back end of those fights, he was struggling. The Lemieux fight, Lemieux just couldn't get to him. Lemieux couldn't get to him. It's like when people talk about Anthony Joshua and Parker, how Joshua had no trouble with Parker and how he had no stamina issues. It's because that fight was happening at Joshua's pace. Parker didn't pressure him anyway, and Lemieux wasn't able to pressure Saunders where Saunders would tire. Canelo's going to pressure him. Canelo's going to make it uncomfortable. That's when you start to tire, when someone makes it uncomfortable for you. It was like 8 years or something. I don't remember. Yeah, it was ages ago. The Lara fight was ages ago. So Saunders needs, okay, Canelo OS. It was like 8 years ago. I don't remember. Yeah, it was ages ago. Ages ago. Bivol has size and looks great in the few highlights I've seen. I do, however, need to watch some of his full fights. Yeah, he does. But again, that's the thing. Against who, though? Against who? Like, we haven't seen Bivol fight. Bivol is fighting Craig Richards, guys. He's fighting Craig Richards. Craig Richards is a domestic light heavyweight. You know, Bivol is not fighting anybody of that level. Canelo's, look at the resume, look at the skills. It's a different level. It's a different level. So when I've said this before, and the same with Saunders. Saunders has fought better competition at 160, 168 than Bivol. And I don't think Saunders has had great preparation for Canelo. Saunders hasn't had great preparation. His resume is not preparing him well for a fight like with Canelo, because the levels that he's going to be jumping is too much for me. He hasn't fought anybody in the 168 or 168 pound division. You tell me one top guy that you can name that Saunders has faced in the 160 or 168 pound division. Like the top names. Name the top names at 160. 160, Andrade, Charlo, Golovkin, Derevyanchenko, like now there's Munguia, right? Name some others. These are some of the names. Like, he hasn't fought anyone. Now 168, Callum Smith, Benavidez, Caleb Plant. You know, I've named about 7-8 guys there. Saunders hasn't fought one of them. And now he's jumping for me to the best guy. Out of all of the names that I mentioned, he's jumping to the best guy. You haven't even fought the guys below Canelo. How are you going to beat Canelo? You know, I just don't think he's had great preparation. And I feel like I feel like the career's not been managed very well. It's kind of like, yeah, I'll fight lower level guys that are B level, C level fighters, and then, you know, I'll stay undefeated, like a padded record, and then I'll jump straight to Canelo. It's too big a jump, in my opinion. It's too big a jump. Devin Cruz, how are you, brother? People taking fights that happened 6 years ago when Canelo was green and was way worse than today. Of course. Yeah, we need to stop looking at fights 10 years ago or 6-7 years ago. That's not the same guy. He's a different man now, different Canelo now. So there's no point of looking at the fights that he had 7, 8 years ago, because like I said, it's a completely different Canelo. It's a completely better Canelo. It's a more versatile Canelo. It's a Canelo that's got more tools in his box. There was actually a video on YouTube that I saw where it showed Canelo setting traps for his opponents, and it was a brilliant video. And it just shows you, like, sometimes when we're watching boxing, we just think these guys are throwing, like, there's actually a lot of planning, and he's setting shots up. It's brilliant. He's brilliant. Canelo's a different level of fighter. He's a different level of fighter. Like, for me right now, there's no question. He is pound for pound the best in the world. And I don't think if you're a neutral, looking at it from a neutral standpoint, right, I just don't see how you can say there's anyone better than him right now. I've seen all these channels, some of them saying Crawford. How can you put Crawford or Spence ahead? In what sense? Canelo's been at the top of the tree for a longer period of time. Canelo's fought better guys. Now, people say, well, Canelo lost to Golovkin, and that's why he can't be... Like, Golovkin's a beast. Who is Spence for, or who is Crawford for that are like Golovkin? It's like Golovkin's a beast. You know, losing to, even if Canelo had lost that first fight, and like personally, I thought, you know, he did lose that first one. Thought he won the second one. There's no shame in losing to Golovkin. You're talking about one of the greatest middleweights of all time. Like, Golovkin is an unbelievable fighter. To lose to him, there's no shame in that. And it was close. Both fights for me were close. Yeah, I thought Golovkin edged the first one. I thought Canelo edged the second one. But when you fight top guys, it's like that. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Roberto Duran the first fight. When you're fighting top level guys, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. It's hilarious. After Eric Gomez, after the Beterbiev fight, I feel like Canelo will be too slick. After the Beterbiev fight, I feel like Canelo will be too slick for Beterbiev. I think it's a great fight. I think it's a 50-50 matchup. I think Canelo will be daring to be great. Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 fight with Beterbiev and Canelo. I think Canelo would be daring to be great in that fight. The reason why I like that fight is because I think Canelo would be daring to be great. And that's what we want to see. We want to see Canelo in a fight where we think he could lose. Right now, he's fighting a lot of these guys where he's what? 80% favorite, 90% favorite. Like, what chance do you give Saunders against Canelo? What chance do you guys give Saunders against Canelo? What, 10%? 15%? I think I'm being generous by saying 15 and 10%. That's how big a favorite he is. Red Eye 1. How are you, brother? Canelo will beat Saunders very, very comfortably. Yeah. So it seems like everyone's on the same page here. Everybody in the chat, everyone's on the same page that Canelo will comfortably beat Billy Joe Saunders, right? Unless Billy Joe Saunders shows a version that we've never seen before, which, again, that's why I'm so intrigued for this fight. Listen, I favor Canelo massively, but I don't know how good Billy Joe Saunders is. I don't know. Maybe Billy Joe Saunders is the real deal. Maybe Billy Joe Saunders is the man. I don't know, because I haven't really seen him. And the fights that I have seen him, apart from Lemieux, who I've never rated very highly, the Andy Lee and Eubank fight, I don't think he was that impressive. He won a split decision against Eubank, and the Andy Lee fight was a majority decision. And those guys are not, like, it's to compare them to Canelo. There's levels and levels of gap between Canelo and Eubank and Andy Lee. It's not even comparable. Like, if Eubank and Andy Lee fought Canelo, right? The version, and by the way, I think Andy Lee, when he fought Saunders, was past his prime. You know, he was past his prime for me. 2017. I think he was past his best, right? For me personally, I think Canelo would knock Andy Lee out in 4 or 5 rounds, and I think he'd knock Eubank out in 3, 4, 5 or 6. Maybe Eubank's tough; he can take a punch, but Canelo's just too good. Canelo would batter Eubank, and if Eubank's tough and toughs it out, maybe the fight goes a bit longer, but he'll get beat up in that fight. Canelo would beat up Chris Eubank, and Billy Joe Saunders went the distance with him. Again, granted, that was a long time ago, but Saunders, for me, hasn't improved massively since then. I've only seen one impressive performance since then, and that was against David Lemieux. Canelo will beat Saunders very, very comfortably. Look at what he done to Kovalev. Perfect shot Yeah, to be honest, the Kovalev fight was very impressive for me. I was impressed with the Kovalev fight because Kovalev was doing well in that fight. Kovalev was boxing very well. And to be honest, that fight was very close between Kovalev and Canelo. I think didn't they have it level at the point when Canelo knocked him out in the 11th? Kovalev was doing very well. And listen, prime Kovalev would have beaten Canelo for me. I think a prime version of Kovalev would have been too big, too strong. Kovalev was a beast. He was in his heyday. Kovalev was a beast. And I think he would have beat. I think Kovalev was a formidable 175 champion. It would have been difficult for Canelo to beat that Kovalev. 175. Look what he did in live show. Kyle77 UK. How are you, brother? Kovalev was, in my opinion, on the scorecards. Was, in my opinion, up on the scorecards. Yes, he might have been. Like I said, for me, it was level or he was up. He might have been up. Yeah. I agree with that. He was doing. That's what I mean. Kovalev was doing very well in that fight, Brendan. I thought he was. I thought he was holding his own without question. But again, like I said, he would be because he's so much bigger than Canelo. And Kovalev. Here's the thing about Kovalev. Kovalev's a very good boxer. Kovalev's not just a puncher. He's a very good boxer as well. And that's why Canelo was struggling in that fight, because Canelo was wary of going in because he knew that the guy's a bigger man and he can punch. And also Kovalev's jab is unbelievable. So he was keeping Canelo at bay with his jab. But I think Canelo's constant pressure, and like I said, that mental pressure of Canelo constantly on top of him, I just think he wore him down. And Kovalev was coming off a tough fight against Yard. And I think Kovalev was already worn out from that fight because that fight was so tough for him. Although he won quite comfortably, I think Yard at times made it, especially in that 8th round, Yard really put it on him. And Kovalev's at the age where that kind of quick turnaround was no good for him. He was, 36? Quick turnaround for Kovalev's no good. He got caught. Yeah, Khan was winning 5-1, Ikram. Yeah, Khan was doing very well in that fight. But again, we always knew, right? We always knew that when Amir Khan fought Canelo, we always knew that Canelo didn't care. Canelo didn't care that Amir Khan was winning the rounds in that fight because he knew, you see. So it was kind of like, yeah, you might win the battles, but I'll win the war. That's the kind of mentality Canelo had. He knew that, yeah, let him win a few rounds, but I'll win the war eventually. And that's what Canelo did. So fair play to him, you know. Most guys at 160 and 168 divisions have weak resumes. All of them. Not most guys. All of them have weak resumes, Devin. Tell me one guy at 160 or 168 apart from Canelo that has a great resume. I don't see any of them. They all have weak resumes. None of them have great resumes. Okay. Naima Sham, how are you, bro? Yeah, yes, bro. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Canelo hasn't been troubled in the last few fights. The truth, yeah, he hasn't. He hasn't been troubled. He hasn't been troubled, and it's I want to see him in a fight. That's why I want to see the Beterbiev fight. And I don't think Saunders and Caleb Plant have the. I just don't think they have the. I just don't think they have the punch power. And I know people say punch power is not what's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. People keep looking at Mayweather. Don't look at Mayweather when like I saw Ben Davison talking about. Listen, I respect Ben Davison's got a lot of boxing knowledge, and I like listening to him breaking things down. But we need to stop looking at Mayweather. We need to stop looking at Mayweather because Mayweather's unique. You can't look at Mayweather and say, well, oh, you know what, Mayweather did that. Mayweather did that. Mayweather's Mayweather. He's the great, probably arguably the greatest ever. You can't look at Mayweather and say, well, oh, Mayweather did it, so Saunders is going to do it, or Plant, that's the blueprint. Yeah, but look who did that. It was Mayweather. And Canelo's so much better now. He's so much more complete fighter now. You can't look at Mayweather. Mayweather's on a different league to these guys. What pay-per-view number you reckon Fury AJ gonna do? I think about 3 million, bro. I think it'll do about 3 million. Naima, I think it'll do definitely be about 3 million pay-per-view buys without question. It was hard for Gigi to keep Canelo back, and Gigi hit him with some hard shots, and he was always there. Saunders has no power to gain respect from Canelo. Yeah, I agree, Cole. If GG had no, like, see, a lot of people say GG, Triple G is just a puncher. Like, I had one guy say to me that Saunders is a better boxer than Golovkin. In what way? Just because Golovkin fights as a pressure fighter, Saunders isn't a better. Go look at their amateur records. Go look at the amateur. When we talk about a boxer, go look at Saunders' amateur record. Go look at Golovkin's amateur record. You know, like, just because Golovkin has a certain style where he's a pressure fighter, he comes forward and absolutely obliterates guys with his power because he's so powerful, doesn't mean, you know, Saunders, just because he's a slick guy. Listen, that fancy stuff with all the footwork and the hand speed, and that doesn't mean that you're a better boxer than somebody. Like, listen, everybody knows that I love Amir Khan, right? And people say to me that, you know, Amir Khan is a better boxer than Canelo. No, he's not a better boxer than Canelo. He can win rounds, yes, but he's not a complete fighter like Canelo. Amir Khan does the same thing round after round after round after round after round. And for a lot of guys, a lot of world-class guys, it's too much because he's got an attribute with his speed, which a lot of guys can't live with. A lot of guys can't live with Khan's speed in his prime. But Canelo, when you fight someone like Canelo, his ring IQ is on another level. He's so intelligent, right? That attribute alone is not going to beat him, right? So when you got someone like Khan, who's a world-class fighter, the difference is with Canelo. Canelo's got so many attributes, not just one. It's not just power. It's his ring IQ. It's his feet movement. Everything about Canelo, the way he sets traps, his boxing brain, is far, far ahead of Khan. You see, just because a guy wins rounds easy doesn't make you a better boxer. How do you think Canelo knocked Khan out? Like, what was that? Just a one punch that landed? He was landing so many body shots. Canelo realized, I can't land on this guy's head. He's a moving target. It's too difficult. So what Canelo started doing, he started going downstairs, hitting him to the body because he knew that would slow him down, right? And that's how he set up that shot. Look how he feinted to the body and then came right hand over the top. These are all things that done with your boxing brain. Everything that's all done with your boxing brain, not just he just landed that punch and knocked Khan out. No, it was all set up. It was all planned. It was all the way he adjusted round and round in that fight. I was so impressed. Like, he realized in the first round, right? The first round he came and boxed in the center of the ring with Khan, right? And Khan just completely won the round so comfortably. Canelo, the next round, came out and started becoming aggressive and started walking to him, putting pressure on him. And yet Canelo was still missing with a lot of shots, but he didn't worry. He thought, I'm going to go for his body because the body's a lot easier to hit when it's a moving target, right? So he started landing huge body shots. And that's what I'm trying to say, that Canelo's a complete fighter. So Saunders might be a guy that makes it difficult. Yes. And remember, the Canelo that fought Khan was in 2016? We got a Canelo now is way better than that version, way better. And he's not just way better from a skills point of view now. He's mentally in a different place. He thinks mentally right now, he thinks he's a killer. You know, that in itself is very dangerous. From a mental standpoint, Canelo feels he's untouchable right now. And that is very dangerous. When you got a fighter that believes he's unbeatable, that's a very, very dangerous fighter. I'm saying 3 million. I'm saying 3 million as well. How did Canelo cheat? Who said Canelo cheated? Yeah, well, there's always going to be that tag. There's always going to be that tag that with Canelo, because of the fact that, you know, he failed a drug test. There's always going to be that tag. But like I said, I don't really want to get into that. The authorities have cleared him to box. That's, you know, I'm just judging him on his skill set and how good he is as a boxer. And for me, he's the best out there right now. Devin, don't judge Saunders for having a weak resume, because most champions at 160 and 168 has also weak. Yeah, that's true. True, yeah. True. But that's why I don't think they can beat him, because they haven't got the experience of fighting someone like Canelo. That's why I don't think they're going to win. That's why I don't think they can beat him, because they haven't prepared well enough for a fight against Canelo. Surely if you're fighting the best fighter in the world, right? Surely you need to have fought the best guys in your division or some of the best guys in your division, but none of these guys have fought one another because all they're doing is waiting for the Canelo fight. All they're doing is just sitting on their laurels, waiting for the Canelo fight, which for me, why are you just waiting, sitting around? Fight one another. Like Saunders never fought Andrade like he was going to, and he failed a test. I just feel like there's so many matchups that could be made in these weight classes, and they're not fighting one another because they don't want to take a loss. So that stops them from getting the Canelo fight because they all want that Canelo payday. Okay, Louis McDermott. Canelo is far more disciplined than any of these guys with lots more experience and skills. Unbeatable today. Yep, I agree. As I've been saying earlier, he's unbeatable right now, in my opinion. And I think the only guy that has a chance is Beterbiev, even at 175. Now, Canelo was on Mike Tyson's podcast, and Canelo said that I don't want to go to, like, I think he was saying something like, I don't really want to move up because, you know, these guys are big and stuff. But I think he should, because I think he can beat those guys. I genuinely think he can beat those guys. Do you think Canelo, if he unifies the super middleweight, the fans deserve the Benavidez fight? In the eyes of many analysts, is the most dangerous fight for Canelo in that division? Cheers from Cineola, Mexico. Probably. I like Benavidez. Think he's a good fighter, but I don't think he has a chance. I saw his fight against that Ronald Ellis, and to be honest with you, like, he's defensively not that great. I think his shots are very readable, and Canelo, I think Canelo batters him, to be honest. I think Canelo would knock him out. I don't think that. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed with Benavidez, to be honest with you. I did before the fight, before I saw him on the weekend. I thought Benavidez one of those guys that could, but I just think I don't think so. I think he has fast combinations, but they're combinations that can be read. You know, I don't think so. I don't even know whether he's got the chin to take Canelo's power, to be honest with you. I don't give him much chance either. I think after watching him on the weekend, no chance. Hi, Imran, just joined now. How are you, RJ? World Sports. How are you, Richard? You good? Hope you're well. Okay, Brendan. If Benavidez tried to focus on his defensive responsibility, he could be pretty tough test. With that being said, Canelo would still destroy his body. But when you say about him improving his defensive responsibility, how is he going to do that in such a short space of time? Because right now he looks very open to me. And anyone that's open against Canelo, that's there to be hit. You know, and remember, Benavidez has been put down before. This is like, and he's not really been fighting the top guys, like I've said previously. I think Benavidez would be a problem for like Saunders, Plant. I think he would be a hard fight for those guys. But for Canelo, no. I just think Canelo hits too hard. I don't think he even has the power to hurt Canelo. To be honest with you, he's big, yeah, but he hasn't got the power to hurt Canelo. That Ronald Ellis went 11 rounds with him. So he doesn't look like very powerful to me. He's not going to knock Canelo out. I honestly think Golovkin would beat Benavidez. I think Golovkin will batter Benavidez. Even now, I think Golovkin would be a problem for Benavidez. I do. I think after watching Benavidez's fight against Ronald Ellis, wasn't that impressed. Canelo's far more... Okay. Canelo, Red Eye 1. Canelo hammers Benavidez. Yep. Canelo does hammer Benavidez. I agree. Viva Mexico superstar. Yeah, he's definitely a superstar. You give Saunders 10% chance. Benavidez throws 8-9 punch combination in the late rounds. That's crazy for anybody. Yes, but yeah, but will he get to that? Will he get to that point, or will he get clipped before then? That's what we got. Will he get to round 8-9, or will Canelo get to him before then? Again, he's too defensively open for me. Red Eye 5%. Yeah, that's probably fair. You know, that's probably fair. Literally, that's probably the best chance you give Saunders. I think probably about 5%. I'd agree. Maybe 10%, right? If you're feeling generous, yeah, maybe 10%. I'm feel salute to you, brother. How are you? Naima Sham, can Lawrence Okolie do damage in the heavyweight division? Possibly. I like Lawrence Okoli. I think he's a dangerous fighter. You know, he's looking really impressive. He won, you know, the fight on Saturday. He was brilliant. The way he just disposed Glowatsky. That guy he didn't land a punch. He didn't even land a punch. Okoli's a good fighter. I think I rate him. I think he could be a force. The fight that I think makes sense for him, and the fight that I want him to have is against Bradis. I think that's the right fight for him. If he wins that fight, he should move straight up to heavyweight, because no point of wasting his time with the other champions, because he'll beat Makabu and Is it Mastrian? Mastrian, I can't say the other guy's name. The other champion, I think it's Mastrian. There's no point of wasting his time with those guys. I think he should fight Bradis, wins against Bradis, moves straight up to heavyweight, because that's where the big money fights are. You know, financially, that's where it makes sense for him to fight heavyweight, because that's where the money's at, really. The cruiserweight, if think about it, Okoli Benavidez, it's not a big fight. It's not a big fight financially for him. It's not a lucrative fight. The Bradis fight will be a fairly biggish fight. And then if he wins that he'll be beating the best cruiserweight. He'll be regarded as the best cruiserweight. Move up to heavyweight then. You know, it makes sense. Billy Joe did say he didn't train hard for Eubank and made it hard for himself. Again, but like, we can only judge him off the fights that he had. And if he didn't train, let's hope he trains for this one, right? Because he's not going to get away with Canelo, right? He's not going to get away with it if he doesn't train hard for this one. Let's just hope no excuses, you know, after the fight. Let's just hope that after the fight, either way, whether it's Canelo, whether Saunders wins or Canelo wins, that there's no excuses from either man. Unfortunately, Saunders is overweight with little experience compared to Canelo. He stands no chance. Yeah, overweight. I don't know whether he's overweight right now, but I just don't think. I just think I agree. I think he stands slim, a very slim chance. He hasn't got much experience for me at world level, at that kind of level, at elite level like that. He's got very little experience. And Canelo, like I said, right now, he's on another level. Canelo stylistically will be a war. Yeah. Canelo Eubank stylistically will be, I think it would it. I don't think so, because I think Canelo won't, those shots that Eubank lands on others won't land on Canelo. I think Canelo's head movement is unbelievable. So after a few rounds, Canelo will read his hand speed, read what he's doing, and then I just think it'll become one-sided. And if Eubank's got a good chin, so he might be able to absorb Canelo's punches, but I think Canelo will beat him up, to be honest with you. I don't think that's a competitive fight, maybe for 2 or 3 rounds, but then Canelo beats him up. Billy Joe Saunders, RJ World Sports. BJS will look great for 3 rounds, start to slow down mid-rounds, and will struggle to take educated Canelo pressure and power in his punches. By later rounds, more than anything, inactivity will affect BJ. So, yeah, I agree. I think Billy Joe Saunders, for me, I think he'll be stopped mid to late rounds in this fight, just because of what Richard you just explained there. He's been inactive, and that catches up with you. The way you live your life catches up with you. This is a very hard sport. When you're in there with a beast like someone like Canelo, if you've not lived the life, and we saw that with Kell Brook, for example. Kell Brook fought Crawford recently. Kell Brook was living the life for the 7-8 months, and he was training very hard, and we saw him in great shape. But you see, all the years of inactivity, all the years of living badly, that catches up with you. You know, if you've lived well, for me, that translates in the ring. If you look at all the great fighters today, you look at Canelo, Crawford, Mayweather, Pacquiao, these guys that we've seen over the years, they've all lived well. Anyone that's lived badly, their stay at the top isn't very long. You know, Ricky Hatton, for example, is another fighter in the UK that we all know what he used to do after his fights. He used to balloon up to like a heavyweight, and then has to lose all that weight, come back down. And how long can you keep doing it before, you know, your body just falls apart, you know? Most of these guys like Golovkin and that, they stay near their weight. You know? 160-pound. Golovkin probably, what, at most is 170 pounds. You know, he walks around at his fighting weight, which is what you've got to do. Unfortunately, most of these guys balloon up. Kell Brook, for example. I remember watching Kell Brook when he beat Sean Porter, and then he was in the studios, an analyst for the Khan Devin Alexander fight. And you should have seen the state of Brook. Like, he didn't look like an athlete. He looked like a guy that just like an obese guy. You know, he didn't look like an athlete in that studio. And I thought to myself, this guy is a world champion. He just become a world champion, and look at the state of him. Like, you know, stay in shape. You know, you're a world champion. That in itself should motivate you. Come on, you've struggled all your life. Kell Brook was a guy that struggled all his life to get a shot, finally got a shot, beat Porter, and then I see him like a couple months later analyzing the Khan Alexander fight, and he's looks so overweight. Like, you're like, come on, man. How can you be taking your career not seriously like that? You know, it's not, for me, it's just like some of these athletes, you know what shocks me is like, how can you not take your career seriously? Like, surely you'd want to take you're a world champion. You'd want to take your career more seriously than that, right? I don't know. I don't get it sometimes. I'm still excited for the fight, though. 70K fans going to be crazy. Yeah, 70K fans. Lot of fans, 70K fans, lot of people, guys, 70K. Good luck with the social distancing there. 70K fans. I can't see us having in the UK, because we have big crowds for football matches. I can't see us having those type of crowds for a very long time. Anyway, anytime soon. Anyway, I know they're saying in May that that crowds will come back, but I don't expect them to come back in that kind of limit. Anyway. Canelo v Eubank, I would certainly watch. I would watch, to be honest. We'd all watch. Billy Joe is coming for the paycheck. Billy Joe is coming for the paycheck. A lot of people say that. I think every fighter comes for the check, but I do think he'll give it his all. I don't think he's the type of guy that's gonna come there and lie down for like money. I think he'll come and give it his all. I think just the community and the background that he's from, I just don't think they're cut like that. I think they will come and he'll give it a go, but I don't think it'll be good enough. Okay, Brendan Jackson. That's why people didn't realize Kovalev was also playing it smart and not trying to have a war and get caught while trying to throw hard punches, which almost worked but didn't work in the end. Yes. Yeah, Kovalev, again, he was very gun-shy that fight. Was it the fact that he was afraid of getting caught? Was it that he was just trying to play it safe, like you said, and felt like he was the superior boxer and he could outbox Canelo? He just got tired and ran out of gas, to be honest. He ran out of gas. Canelo's consistent pressure was too much. Remember, lads, never date a cross-eyed woman. C might start seeing someone on the side. Okay, I didn't understand that. White Povetkin this week, can't wait. Who you got? White Povetkin. Who have I got? I've got genuine 50-50. I don't know. White Povetkin. Who do I think wins that? You know what? I hope I'm wrong, but I think Povetkin might do him again. I hope I'm wrong, and I'll do a live on Friday about Povetkin White, about the weigh-in. I'll hopefully do a live stream every day now, like 7:30, this kind of time. But yeah, I feel like Povetkin. Here's the thing, you know what? When I first saw Dillian Whyte fight, Dillian Whyte had looked like, I thought he had a granite chin. But ever since the Anthony Joshua fight, for me, it looks like Dillian Whyte's punch resistance is getting worse every fight. And I don't know whether after that horrific knockout, what he's going to be like mentally, what his punch resistance is going to be like. So I'm a little bit worried for Dillian Whyte, but I hope I'm wrong. But I'm slightly edging towards Povetkin, if I'm honest. The fact that people stick with wanting their favorite fighter to fight Canelo instead of the other, equally as game challenges, is sad. The fact that the people stick with waiting Favorite fighter to fight Canelo. See, you've got all the PBC fans, right, that want to see Charlo. They say Canelo's ducking Charlo, or ducking Charlo and Andrade, and then you'll get like the Billy Joe Saunders fans for like a couple years now saying that Canelo's ducking Billy Joe Saunders. See, Canelo can't fight all of these guys at one time, but these guys are not fighting each other. They're not fighting each other because they're waiting for that Canelo payday. They know Canelo is the cash cow. They know Canelo is the payday for them. So they don't want to, they basically don't want to fight anyone else, because if they lose, then they know the Canelo payday is gone. And that's basically what a lot of fighters do. It's all about the payday. It's all about the paycheck. It's not about testing yourself before you even get to Canelo. And I actually, you know, one thing I like about Benavidez is actually Benavidez wants to do that. Benavidez wants to test himself against the Charlo, against the Caleb Plant. A lot of people are saying the only reason Benavidez is doing that because he knows he's not going to get the Canelo fight because he's not a world champion. However, Charlo's at 160. By him beating Charlo doesn't mean he's going to get the Canelo fight, because Canelo wants to become undisputed champion. So that's one thing I like about Benavidez. I don't think he's just waiting around for the Canelo fight. I think he wants to fight the other guys because he genuinely believes he'll beat the other guys. So yeah, that's one thing I respect about Benavidez. Okay, the fact that people stick. Okay, White is going to have to go for it. Povetkin killed him when he was down himself twice. Mentally, White could be affected. Yes, that's the problem. That's the thing. I think mentally, from a mental standpoint, White could be in trouble here. White could be in serious trouble, because I think Povetkin knows and White knows a shot on the button and it could be night-night. You know, Povetkin hits very hard, and Povetkin's not many guys out cold. And Dillian White, like I said, his punch resistance, he's been down against Parker. He's been hurt against Helenius. Didn't wobble him, right? Down against Rivas. He's been hurt and wobbled many times and then got knocked out by Povetkin. So, yeah, for me, his punch resistance has got a lot worse since the AJ fight. A lot worse. I don't know. And to be honest, in that fight, he had a granite chin. He was taking so many shots. But ever since that fight, I feel like his punch resistance is just getting worse. And I think after this knockout, God knows what it's going to be like after this knockout. So hopefully White can get the job done. Canelo is a man among boys. Yeah. Yeah, he is at the minute. That's what it looks like. But maybe Canelo, the fight that would be a fight where he'd be daring to be great, would be the Beterbiev fight, because there would be a lot of people that think that Canelo loses that fight. Well, I know a lot of people that think that Canelo will. I did question his power v. Ellis, but to be fair, Ellis was tough. Yeah, Ellis was tough. But think about it. Put Ronald Ellis in there with Canelo. What do you think happens? Do you think that goes 11 rounds, or do you think Canelo would wipe the floor with him earlier? Canelo on paper beats anyone in his weight divisions at 160, 168, and possibly 175. Yeah. The only guy really I think has a chance and a 50-50 chance is definitely Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev has a chance, Adam, to really put a dent in Canelo. Canelo will break him down with body shots first and might allow BJS to win early rounds. Yeah, possibly. It might be a bit like the Khan fight. Who knows? Mike Williams, next best fight, White v. Wilder. Yeah, that's a brilliant fight. That would be a great fight. Again, you know what? That fight is a great fight. However, again, I will say this, that Dillian White will be fighting another guy that could put his lights out. And let's see if he can get through the Povetkin fight. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, the Povetkin one. But then fighting Wilder, good luck with that. Wilder could take his lights out. But again, Wilder's also mentally, I don't know where he's at right now. You know, Wilder seems gone mentally right now. Cal77 UK. Gulmarian, the other, the Gulmarian. Yeah, the other cruiserweight world champion. I think Coley beats him. I think Coley beats Gulmarian and Mokabu. The only one I think he may struggle against is Bradis. That's a tough one. Canelo stops Eubank without question, brother. Richard, without question. Sally Mirza, no, he can't. He can't win. Billy Joe can't win. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he'll win, but let's see. It's a chance for Billy Joe to prove his worth, show his worth. Can you see Canelo moving up the weights in quick succession? He has been moving up the weights in quick succession. How far? What weights are you talking? Are you talking him moving to cruiserweight? Or what are you asking there, Adam? Abu Adam, what are you asking? Can you see Canelo moving up weights in quick succession? He is moving up weights in very quick succession. He has done, in 5-6 years, he's moved from 154 to was it? He's moved to 168, and he's even fought at 175. So yeah, he's moved up the weights. Kev and Effect, how are you, brother? Jamal Charlo can stop Canelo. Ooh. Jamel Charlo can stop Jamel Charlo can stop Canelo. Oof. I don't know about that. No, I don't see him beating. I don't see him stopping Canelo. I don't see anyone stopping Canelo. How do you, Kevin Effect, how do you see Jamel Charlo stopping Canelo? Break that down for me. How do you think he stops him? Okay, Zane Mir, can Billy Joe Saunders outbox Canelo with his great IQ? By the way, that's my brother, Zane Mir. But no, he hasn't. Can Canelo, Billy Joe outbox Canelo with his great IQ? No. He might do it for a couple rounds, but then gets knocked out. If Hatton had the same achievements and resume as Khan, he'd be lauded a lot more. I've said this a lot of times about Khan, and it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't really like. To be honest, I don't really make many videos about Amir Khan that much anymore, because the other day someone messaged me saying that, oh, you love Amir Khan, and he put like an expletive, and I didn't bother replying back. I just said, oh, okay, mate, and I left a thumbs up. And I've had other people as well in the past, like, just the kind of rubbish that they come out with. It's just like, all right, man. Like, here's the thing with Amir Khan, right? Good fighter, great fighter in his day, right? He's not an elite fighter like Canelo. I'm saying he's not an elite fighter like Canelo, Lomachenko, Mayweather, those type of guys. He wasn't in that league. He was a level below. But even then, he was, for me, like, the fact that he was the first British Pakistani to break through, and forget just about what he did as a boxer. I'm talking about, like, in the UK, he was the first British Asian really in any sport, in any background, really, to come through and make it mainstream like a superstar like that. So I think he deserves a lot of respect. Where you rank him as a boxer, how good you think he is, it's a matter of opinion, but like I said, that's why I think I think he was an elite 140 pounder without question. I think he was a top 140 pounder in his day. But he wasn't a Mayweather, he wasn't a Pacquiao, he wasn't a Canelo. He's not in that kind of class. I was actually speaking to my dad about it the other day, and my dad was like, those guys are a level above. He didn't have the kind of mindset like those guys had, but nevertheless, in his day, he was a great fighter. There's no doubt. I think if you deny that he wasn't a great fighter in his day, or he wasn't a top quality, top notch fighter, then I think there must be, obviously you have something against him, or you don't like him, or whatever. But I think you have to acknowledge that someone was a good fighter, world-class fighter. For me, Maidana was a world-class fighter. No, he wasn't an elite like a Mayweather. Like I said, there's levels. But even the guys below Mayweather, Pacquiao and Canelo, and those guys are very good fighters. Very good fighters. That just because they're not like elite level, that doesn't mean that they're not great fighters. They are great fighters, no doubt about it. Maidana, who any of you going to say Maidana's not a great fighter? Or Zab Judah wasn't a great fighter? Zab Judah was an undisputed welterweight world champion. He was a great fighter, but again, like, some people say Mike Tyson wasn't an elite fighter. He wasn't an elite heavyweight. He didn't beat anybody. See, like, a lot of people say, the best fighters that he fought, he lost. And that you could virtually say about everyone. Literally, if you go through everyone's resume in history, Like there'll be loads of people like that you could say he lost to, like top fighters, guys that we consider legends. You could say, well, like Miguel Cotto fight, right? Legend, great fighter, an elite fighter, lost to all the best guys he fought, right? Most of the best guys he fought, Mayweather, Pacquiao, Canelo, right? He took L's against those guys, right? However, he did beat Shane Mosley, right? Which was an unbelievable win. But most of the top guys, the top names, you could say he lost. What does that, you know, most guys that fight the best, unless you're like Mayweather or Pacquiao, most of them have lost. Canelo as well is another one that you can say, but a lot of the guys that would, even some of the legends, have lost to some of the best guys they fought. I just don't think it's fair to criticize people with the losses. Like, you're not going to win. Not every fighter is that good that they're just going to keep winning at high, winning at that kind of level. For me, I just think that, every fighter that comes into the sport of boxing needs to start fighting one another. They need to fight each other. I don't care if you've got losses, because losses don't mean anything. I think a lot of fighters today are just preserving that, because of Mayweather. Everybody trying to be Mayweather, but Mayweather's a one-off. He's a one-off. Okay, Canelo v. Andre Ward at 175. That's a hard one. Right now, Canelo, maybe Ward in his day. I actually don't think the Ward that fought Kovalev, would that version of Ward beat Canelo? I don't think so, I think the Ward at 168 beats Canelo, but the Ward at 175, I wasn't impressed by that Ward. I know he beat Kovalev, but I thought he lost the first one. And the second one, I thought Kovalev was out beating him, and Kovalev just ran out of gas. Forget Canelo, the 900% boxer. Hussein, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, the 900% boxer? I really don't like how PBC are running their boxing. They're running boxing, in my opinion, because they don't put their fighters oftenly with other fighters that are under different promoters a lot of the time. Yeah, they don't. They don't, to be honest. They don't really fight one another. They don't fight anybody else but their own. And Crawford and Spence, that's a travesty right now. That's sad. That situation with Crawford and Spence is heartbreaking for a fight fan. I don't think that fight's ever going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, man. And it's sad. It's sad that two of the best fighters in their prime. I believe that's the best fight in boxing right now. Crawford v. Spence is the best fight in boxing. We're never going to get to see it, which is a shame. People say Fury Joshua. No, Fury Joshua is the biggest financial fight in boxing. It's not the best matchup in boxing. The best matchup in boxing is definitely Crawford Spence. Angel Gal Egos. How are you, Angel? Charlo ain't stopping Canelo. There's no way. If anything, Canelo knocks Charlo out. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't know how, Kev, you think that Charlo will stop Canelo. I don't see it. Kev. Wilder was stretch White out, devastating then White out, devastating than Povetkin did. Wilder hits harder than old Povetkin. Yeah, Wilder does hit harder. Wilder could do serious damage. He could do serious damage. Serious damage. Did someone say Jamal Charlo stops need to wake up and drink some coffee? Yep, someone did. Kev, where are you gone? You did. I asked you, how do you break down how Charlo stops Canelo? Yeah, someone did say that, Kel. I don't think so, man. Canelo's a formidable force. I think to stop him is going to be very difficult. Not many can say they won an Olympic medal. Yeah, not many can say 17 or 18. He was 17 when he won the silver medal, which is unbelievable. Richard Brown. How are you, Richard? Hi, Imran. How's it going? It's going well, Richard. How are you? Fantasy fight. Who do you think would win? Canelo v. Calzaghe at super middleweight. I got Calzaghe. Calzaghe was a great fighter, man. I think him and Lewis were the best fighters from Great Britain of all time. Like, Calzaghe was special, man. I really like Calzaghe. I think he's a good guy as well. Calzaghe Calzaghe and Canelo. Yeah, I probably slightly edge towards Calzaghe. I like Calzaghe. I like Canelo as well, so it's hard. But I like Calzaghe. He's a good dude. He seems like his dad was a good trainer as well. That great chemistry that him and his dad had. Sad that his dad passed away a few years ago. Great. Calzaghe just seems like a great guy, to be honest with you. He's a very likable guy. He's very liked by the British public as well. And I like Calzaghe. I think he was a gent. Unlike Carl Froch, I never really liked Carl Froch, to be honest with you. He was a good fighter, though. Carl Froch was a good fighter. I just didn't like. I think the guy was very bitter, to be honest with you. I didn't really like Carl Froch's. I didn't really like. I think Calzaghe was great. Yeah, I'd go for Calzaghe. Slightly edge towards Calzaghe. I think Calzaghe was a special fighter, Richard. To be honest with you, it's a shame Bradley Khan never fought at 140. They were. Oh man, I've got bitterness towards Bradley because of that. Like, it frustrates me. It frustrates me that that fight never happened. That would have been a great fight. Think about it. Ramirez and Prograis are fighting for the undisputed light welterweight championship of the world. Khan Bradley would have been way bigger than that. Think about it. Khan Bradley would have been way bigger than way bigger than Ramirez and Taylor, right? But unfortunately, we never got that fight. Bradley didn't want it. Bradley didn't want that fight. He docked that fight for me. And the same way you could say Amir Khan docked Kell Brook. Yeah, it has to be said. Amir Khan didn't want to fight Kell Brook, and you've got to be honest. He didn't want to take the Brook fight, and in the end, he didn't get the fights with Mayweather and Pacquiao that he destined for so many years. And Brook didn't get the fight that he wanted, but Brook might still get it. Actually, Brook might still get the Khan fight. So whereas Mayweather, Khan's never going to get the Mayweather Pacquiao fights now. So Liam Williams, Andrade is the fight I'm most looking forward to. I hope Liam Williams wins. I hope Liam Williams wins as well. I like Liam Williams. I think Liam Williams is a very, very tough guy. I think he's a good fighter. I think it might be a step too far for him. I think Andrade's a very, very slick fighter. But again, Andrade's not really been in there with a lot of tough fighters. I don't think Andrade's really got a great resume either. But I think Andrade's very good. I think Andrade's very slick. And I think Andrade might be a bit too cute for Liam Williams. But again, hopefully Liam Williams can pull off the upset. I've got another call to go to. Top man Imran, the live show's better than the standalone. Yeah, I will do the live shows. Cal, I'll definitely be doing the more live streams, probably hopefully every day around this time. Yeah, good to have you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Carl Froch's biggest flex is the 80,000 fans. Yeah, 80,000 fans. 80,000 fans. He goes on about that a lot, don't he? He told Mayweather as well when Mayweather was fighting Pacquiao that I fought in front of it when I knocked George Groves out in front of 80,000 fans. That was brilliant. That was when he told Mayweather. Once you tell Mayweather that you knocked George Groves out, right? That's it. You've done it all, right? I would love to see Joshua Wilder for some reason. I'd love to see that fight as well. I want to see that fight. Joshua Wilder's a great fight. You know what? I actually think Wilder has a good chance in that fight. I've always thought that. I think Wilder's got a great chance against AJ. A lot of people are hating on Wilder, but I don't know if Wilder turns up the old Wilder, the Wilder we normally used to seeing. Because right now he did get destroyed by Fury, so we don't know where he is mentally, right? That's a tough fight for AJ. That's not an easy fight. That's a very, very tough fight and could go either way. Richard Brown. Yeah, I agree. Calzaghe was a special fighter. Keep up the good work, mate. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, Calzaghe was a great fighter, man. He was, you have to give him respect. 46-0. I know people try to diminish his resume, but the fact is he fought everybody. Yeah, if they were in their prime or not, you still got to beat him. Man. We saw Yard fighter washed up Kovalev. He couldn't do it, could he? Couldn't beat him. Yeah, Roy Jones wasn't in his prime, but Calzaghe still beat him. Roy Jones put Calzaghe down. Calzaghe got back up and won the fight comfortably. So, yeah, man, you got to give Calzaghe credit. You got to give guys like that credit. Look at the way he bashed up Jeff Lacey. Like, everyone thought Jeff Lacey was going to come and beat him. And he bashed up Jeff Lacey. Good and proper. That was a horrible beatdown. Jeff Lacey was never the same. Joshua v. Ruiz 3. Joshua v. Ruiz 3. Ruiz is looking good. Ruiz is shaped down. He's slim, trimmed down, ain't he, Ruiz? Ruiz is looking good. But can he be Joshua? I don't know. I think Joshua's kind of worked it out. Like, you know, that long keep him at range. And I don't know whether Ruiz is going to be difficult for him to get to Joshua, where Joshua's got that style. I think Joshua's worked it out. But again, Joshua was a few times in that second fight when Joshua got close to him. Ruiz looked like, you know, he could have had Joshua. Joshua looked like he was going to fall apart. But Joshua, you know, fair play to him. He came back and did the job. But Joshua, after that Ruiz knockout, he's kind of looked a bit vulnerable to me. And he against Fury, he needs to be on his A game because Fury's a beast. So Lucius Sanchez, yeah, I'd love to see Joshua Ruiz 3, man. Hopefully in the future we get that fight. The super middleweights suck. Imagine that what Calzaghe would do to Canelo. Yeah, the super middleweights right today are not that great. Calzaghe, I'm not going to sit here and say Calzaghe would beat the brakes off Canelo because he wouldn't. No one beats the brakes off Canelo. Canelo's really good. I've spoke to a lot of British fight fans and they say no one beats the brakes off Canelo, but Calzaghe would have definitely had a good chance of beating him without question. Calzaghe was, like I just said earlier, he was a special fighter, man. He was a special fighter. I love Calzaghe. I'm a big fan of Joe Calzaghe. I think he was a gent. I think he was a great fighter. He fought everyone. Yeah, people say he fought some guys past their prime, but you're never going to be able to fight everybody in their prime. That's not his fault, you know. He was born 2, 3, or 4 years later, or he came into boxing a couple of years later. You know, you can only fight guys when they're there, right? Red Eye, Raymond, great video. Thank you, Raymond. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully, I'm going to do more of these. Canelo is a combo bull brack. What do you mean by that? Canelo is a combo bull. I think you're saying Canelo's a bull. Like, he is a bull. He's definitely strong as an ox. A great boxer. He fought everyone who was around except Otke, who didn't want it. Yeah, you know what? Calzaghe fought everyone. Calzaghe was a good dude, good fighter. Had a great trainer with his dad. I think his relationship with his dad was great. Yeah, Calzaghe was, for me, him and Lennox Lewis, the two greatest British fighters of all time. You know, if you disagree, let me know who you think your favorite or best British fighter was. For me, Calzaghe and Lewis were definitely two of the best. Canelo bull. Yeah, he is a bull without question. He's strong as an ox, good boxer. See, when you got a bull and you got an intelligent bull, that's a dangerous, dangerous man. Dangerous, dangerous fighter. Just imagine a bull that's intelligent, right? That's a very, very dangerous fighter to fight. And Canelo's got so many, he can fight so many different ways. He's an unbelievable fighter. You know, the Calzaghe fight, you guys talking about Calzaghe would have been a great fight. Because Calzaghe's taller, he's got a lot of physical advantage over Canelo. He's got very fast hands, very fast feet. Calzaghe was good, man. Calzaghe was a really good fighter. That would have been a very good fight. Would Canelo been able to make a dent in Calzaghe in terms of slowing him down with body shots and head shots? Oh man, that would have been a beautiful fight. Would have been a beautiful fight. I think that would have just been a great fight. You know, when I think about it. Imagine Calzaghe against Saunders. Imagine that fight. Like Calzaghe would beat the brakes of Saunders, right? He'd beat Saunders from the pillar to post. Hey, what's up, fan from Mexico City? Unpopular opinion: BJ Saunders is the more difficult fight for Canelo at 168. Benavidez is the hardest one in terms of physicality. How are you, David? I hope you're well. I do think Billy Joe Saunders is when I mean difficult fight, possibly. I'm not sure though. A lot of people keep saying that Billy Joe Saunders is going to be a difficult fight. How difficult? Canelo, like I said, he's got too many layers to him for me. And Benavidez, physicality wise, yes, but is Benavidez's defense good enough? He gets hit too much. He's too open. He's too open. Like, I would want to see those fights. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, we're getting the Saunders one. I'd like to see him fight Benavidez, but I don't think so. I think the only guy really that's going to give him a fight that I believe Canelo can fight is Beterbiev. Let's be real. I think that's the only fight that Canelo can possibly beat Canelo because of Beterbiev's side. A lot of people think Beterbiev will beat Canelo, actually. That's a fight I want to see. Beterbiev beat Canelo. If Canelo fights Beterbiev and beats Beterbiev, wow. Could you make a case? Could you make a case for Canelo going down greater or being greater than Pacquiao or Mayweather if he was to beat Beterbiev at light heavyweight? Would you put him on the same level? Would you say he could surpass them, or would you still have him below? How would you rate him if he beats Beterbiev? Ulises Sanchez. What do you think about Estrada? Yes, that was an epic fight. That was a war, wasn't it? The third fight. It's kind of crazy because Estrada won the second fight. Most people thought Chocolatito won. The first fight, Chocolatito got it. And most people thought Estrada should have won. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know whether this is this was all, even though Chocolatito deserved to win this second one. That was it just a case of that let's give Estrada the win so then we can set up a trilogy which will make more money. I don't know. I think Chocolatito deserved that fight. He didn't get it. And that really annoys me with boxing, is that these scorecards sometimes can definitely spoil it, right? Because you've had a great fight, just we need a fair result. Unfortunately, sometimes these scorecards are terrible. You can't Canelo straight up, in my opinion. You have to move. Footwork is the key. Yeah, you have to. You stand in front of Canelo, he's gonna break you. He's gonna break you down. He's gonna beat you up. Like Yildirim, he was just there and he got beat up. You can't stand in front of Canelo. You need to move. You need lateral movement. You need to move around. Otherwise, he's gonna blast you away. You can't. Okay, you have to have footwork fight. Fantasy fight. Froch v Canelo. Canelo beats him. Canelo will beat Froch. Canelo's too good. Too good. Beterbiev too big, too strong. That would be the only fight where Canelo would probably be the underdog. Yeah, Canelo would be daring to be great, right, against Beterbiev. Yeah, he would definitely did that. If Canelo beats Beterbiev within the 12 months, he's still below Mayweather. He would probably need to defend the title. Fair enough. Fair enough. What do you think he'd have to do to surpass Mayweather? What do you think Canelo would have to do to surpass Mayweather? Is there anything he can do to surpass Mayweather, or no? Because Mayweather did school him when they fought. I don't know. I don't know what he'd have to do. Maybe move to cruiser. Maybe move to heavyweight. Right? Someone was saying to me the other day, obviously it's ludicrous, that Canelo, just imagine Canelo against Anthony Joshua. Right? Nah, man, that's just ridiculous. Canelo's what, 5'8"? And Joshua's what, 6'6"? Punches so hard. But nah, that's crazy. But some people have like weird fantasy matchups and stuff. It's crazy. Like that's impossible. That's impossible. So someone was saying it to me the other day that he feels that Canelo could beat Anthony Joshua. I was like, listen, mate, the guy's like 250 pounds, 6'6". Like Joshua would literally. Canelo's admit Joshua kills him. Yeah, that's what I mean. He would destroy him. Shout out to my friend Michael Mickinson, who will be fighting on Dillian White. Michael Mickinson, is he fighting Chris? He's fighting Chris Congo, ain't he? He's fighting Chris Congo. That's a good fight. Michael Mickinson is ranked the #1 British welterweight right now, or the #1 welterweight from UK. He's even ranked higher than Conor Benn. See, Conor Benn, because of his dad, has got a big name, whereas all these guys like Michael Mickinson, Chris Congo, there's Florian Marku, of course. There's another one. Who's the other one? The other one slipping. There's Conor Ben. There's another one. I think that might be. I think it was Chris Kongo, Mickelson, Ben, and Kelly, of course. But Kelly's now been beat. Yeah, Mickinson's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. I'm looking forward to that fight, the Kongo fight. I think Kongo and Mickinson's a good fight. Who have you guys got for that fight? Mystic Mac, who have you got for that fight? I know, try to be not biased. I know you said that Mickinson's your friend, but how do you see that one? What do you think happens in that fight between Kongo and Mickinson? Who do you think wins that? My boy. I thought you would say that. Canelo is prime middleweight, super middleweight, whereas Mayweather at his best was more lightweight, welterweight. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about them head-to-head. I'm talking about, like, could Canelo go down as a greater fighter than Mayweather? That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about them head-to-head. Your boy, Mystic Mac, your boy. Yeah, probably. Probably he's ranked the #1 welterweight in Britain right now. So let's see. I do think he could win a title at the new Bridgerweight. Cruiserweight too much for him. Bridgerweight is heavier than Cruiserweight. Bridgerweight's above Cruiserweight. Bridgerweight's one below heavyweight. Bridgerweight's, or is it? No, I'm pretty sure Bridgerweight's between Cruiserweight and heavyweight. Yeah, that's Bridgerweight, right? Bridgerweight's not between light, heavy, and I'm pretty sure Bridgerweight's between, because Lawrence Okoli was talking about he might go to Bridgerweight and look to win a Bridgerweight world title. Yeah, Bridgerweight's not Bridgerweight's between cruiser and heavy. Froch would have tested Canelo in his prime. Froch in his prime was no joke. He beat Jermaine Taylor. He was huge, 168-pounder, and had power. Was strong, durable, and a good engine and a good work rate. Fight gamer, yes, he did. I just think Canelo had a little bit too much for him, to be honest. I think Canelo has a good chin. He's the better boxer. He's defensively more sound. He's got greater head movement. Froch had no head movement. He got hit with so many shots. He was the kind of fighter that took one to give one. And that's okay against certain level of fighters. That, yeah, Jermaine Taylor was a little bit past his prime. And let's not forget, Jermaine Taylor was winning that fight. And then Froch came in the last round and Taylor gassed out and he beat him, which, listen, he deserves a lot of respect for that, but Canelo's not going to gas out. And Canelo, for me, will just have a little bit too much. But again, fantasy matchups. Thought Bridger was lighter, my bad. No, David. Bridger is between cruiser and heavyweight. Bridgerweight, when's this happening? Apparently, it's already started. Apparently, the Bridgerweight, they've already got it sorted, but there's some few issues with the Bridgerweight now because apparently with the Bridgerweight, the other sanctioning bodies are not agreeing to it. So the WBA, WBO, and WBA and IBF, they're not agreeing to the Bridgerweight division. It's too many divisions, man. We've got so many divisions as it is, and they're making new divisions. Like, you know, there's too many divisions to this. You know, no one's gonna want to fight for a Bridgerweight title anyway. Who's gonna want to fight for a Bridgerweight when all the best fighters are at heavyweight, all the big money fights are at heavyweight? In my opinion, it's to say Canelo eclipses Mayweather even in the future because he lost to him. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, he did lose to him and he got battered by him. To be honest, he got beat up. Canelo, yeah, he bashed. He bashed him up good. Like, you know, Mayweather did definitely schooled him that night, beat him up. Canelo has lost, in my eyes, 4 fights, 2 times to GGG. Mayweather, then. So Canelo, in my eye, has lost. So Stephen Clinton, how are you, brother? Canelo has lost, in my eyes, times 4 fights, 2 to GGG. Mayweather, then. Also Lara, okay. You said also Lara. Fair enough if you view it that way. I thought he won the second fight against GG. I thought he lost the first one. Thought he won the second one, and I thought he nicked it against Lara. But again, it's how you view it. The fights were close. Yeah, Mayweather was definitely got beat in that fight comfortably. But you know, the other fights, they were close. The first GG fight, I thought definitely Golovkin deserved that. But But what point are you? What are you trying to say? Is that why you think Saunders will win, or that's why you think Saunders has got the style to beat him? Yeah, I still, like I said, I still rate Canelo. I think Canelo's fought some Lara's a world-class fighter. So is Golovkin. So is Mayweather. Like, there's no shame in losing to guys like that. These are very, very good fighters. For Canelo to be rated higher than Mayweather, he needs to be unified champion in 168, then 175. So when you say unified, do you mean under Raymond? Sorry. Do you mean he needs to be undisputed in both weight classes? But here's the thing: if like we all expect him to become undisputed in 168, right? So we expect him to do that. Then at 175, the fight for him is Beterbiev. If he beats Beterbiev, then I don't see anyone at 175 beating him, to be honest. I don't understand why there's a weight division between cruiserweight and heavyweight. Should be between light heavyweight and cruiserweight. Yeah, that I don't understand that myself. Yeah, there's a big jump from light heavy to cruiser, and I thought there was always guys that were too small for cruiserweight, but too big for light heavyweight. And an example of that was that Isaac Chamberlain, who was too big for light heavyweight, was too small for cruiser. But I didn't understand the jump. I didn't understand the weight division between heavy and cruiser, to be honest. But God knows why they've done that. Money-making machine, money-making scheme. Then again, there's already too many weight divisions. Yeah, there are. Who can beat Canelo? Beterbiev. Also Lara. Yeah. BJ Saunders playing games, or is it he's overweight and has the flu? Not a great sign for the Canelo fight. No, he's playing games. He's not overweight. It's not, yeah, he's not. He's playing games. Saunders is preparing hard for this fight. Saunders is going to bring his A game. He's going to bring the best version of Saunders. Saunders is going to try shocking the world. He will. Don't listen. Saunders ain't coming to lie down in this fight. He's going to come and try. I just don't see Saunders just going to come in for a paycheck. I don't think he's geared up that way, to be honest with you. I think he's going to come for the win. How is a close fight a robbery? Who said the fight is a robbery? Who said the close fight is a robbery? I think Lara got robbed. Oh, you're talking about Hamza. Making Hamza talking about Lara got robbed. Lara never got robbed. That was a tight fight. That was, again, the reason why you're saying that, I'll tell you why that you're saying that, Hamza. Because Canelo's seen as Canelo's the cash cow. Canelo's the politically more connected fighter. So that's why you're saying that. The politically more connected fighter, when it's a close fight, the decisions generally go in to him. So that's why we say that, oh, it's robbery, because if Lara got the decision, nobody would have said it was a robbery, because the fact that Lara's not the politically connected fighter, so the politically not connected fighter would have got the decision. And generally that doesn't happen in boxing. The politically connected fighter gets the decision. And that's why we're saying a robbery. No one has ever been undisputed at two different weight classes. That would be a legendary level. Yeah, it would be. And Canelo's more than capable of doing it. And I think Canelo's got the kind of mindset. Canelo's got the kind of ambition that he's going to want to do that. Canelo's going to want to be undisputed champion without question. He's going to want to be undisputed without any question for me. Canelo Lara was a draw at best. Yeah, it was close. It was for me. It was a very close fight. Yeah, it was close. The way Canelo's active now, plus the experience he has, he will not be beat. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be difficult to beat Canelo right now, man. It's going to be difficult to beat Canelo. He's got a lot of experience. From a mental point of view, he's in a different place right now. He's in a different place, and he believes he's unbeatable. He believes he's unbeatable right now. And when you've got that kind of mindset, that kind of determination, you're going to be a difficult guy to beat. Always Juice, how are you? You think Mayweather v Canelo 2 would ever happen? It's $1 billion fight. No, never. Mayweather would get destroyed. Like, how can Mayweather fight Canelo now? He's 43 years of age. They fight at Mayweather's 147 pounds. It's just the weight difference now is too much. No, that's not realistic. Like Mayweather wouldn't even come back and fight Pacquiao, let alone Canelo. Will BJ Saunders go and survive or go out on his shield? I think he'll go out on his shield, to be honest. I don't think he's gonna come and lie down. Mike Williams, missing the Loughborough College days. Do you think BJ Saunders would pull it off? Yeah, I'm missing the Loughborough days as well, brother. Mike Williams is a guy that I studied with at uni or college, or went uni, you can say. Yeah, I'm missing it. Do you think BJ Saunders will pull out the fight? Oh, Mike, don't do that. Mike, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm really looking for if Billy Joe Saunders pulls out of this fight, I'm gonna be heartbroken because I'm really looking forward to this fight. And I think Billy Joe Saunders would lose a lot of credibility if he pulls out, because a lot of British fight fans that I've spoke to are expecting him to pull out of this fight. And if he ends up pulling out this fight, Billy Joe Saunders is going to lose a lot of credibility. So I hope he doesn't. I will never call a close fight a robbery. Yeah, you shouldn't do. Like, Amir Khan fought Lamont Peterson. I remember that fight very well. I thought Khan won that fight, right? But it was a close fight. It was no robbery. But Lamont Peterson got the decision. A lot of people call that fight a robbery. I don't think it was a robbery. I think Khan deserved the fight, but I don't think it was a robbery by any stretch. Robbery is what Pac-Man Bradley, like you said, that's a robbery. That's daylight robbery. Let's be honest, daylight robbery. Pac-Man v Bradley is a robbery. Yep, it is a robbery. A close fight is never a robbery unless one of the judges of the fight by a wide margin. Yes. Like we had with the Chocolatito and Estrada fight. One of the judges had it really wide and nobody else could see how it was that wide. Teofimo has a very bright future and can become champion in multiple weight divisions. He's a huge lightweight. Yes, he's a huge lightweight. And he's a guy that I believe has got a very bright future as long as he keeps his feet on the ground, which I believe he will. He's training very hard. And I feel that Teofimo Lopez could be a problem at 140 as well. I would love to see him against the winner of Taylor Ramirez. I think it's a brilliant fight. That would be a brilliant fight. By the way, none of you have asked any questions about Taylor Ramirez. What's going on? Okay, East E, what's good? Imran, blessings from Toronto, my G. I hope you're well, East E. I'm glad that I've got people in Toronto that watch my videos. I appreciate it, brother. I think BJS is taking a hiding. He's smart enough to take a knee. If Billy Joe Saunders is taking a hiding, he's smart enough to take a knee. So basically, you mean quitting? Is that what you're saying? If he's getting beat up, you saying that he'll quit? I don't think so. I don't think that would be taken too well in his community, to be honest with you. I think Billy Joe Saunders would go out on his shield, like if he goes out. Yeah, I hope whatever happens, I hope Saunders doesn't get stick for this. BJ Saunders is slick, but he's no Mayweather. No chance against Canelo. He can't push Canelo back, and he will definitely get stopped. Canelo defense, head movement, and power on different level. I agree with you, brother. I agree with everything you just said there. He's no Mayweather. Let's get that out there. He's no Mayweather. No one's Mayweather. Mayweather's a league of his own. He's a league of his own. Right? Don't compare anyone to Mayweather. Right? He's a genius. You know what I mean? So comparing Billy to Mayweather is like comparing a chihuahua to a lion. It's no comparison, my friend. No comparison. Mayweather's in his own. Is Khan your favorite fighter? Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao, my favorite fighters. And to be honest with you, the reason why is because, like I said, I think you all know that Amir Khan is from my background. I'm also British Pakistani. So Amir Khan was somebody that inspired a lot of people from our background, because when we were in UK, a lot of people from my background, we always kind of looked at things like, we live in a country where we're seen as foreigners and we don't get an equal opportunity. And We don't get equal. Like, I remember when I used to be young and play cricket. Sorry, my brother, like a lot of Asians used to complain that, you know, we don't get an equal chance. You know, all the middle age, all the white kids, you know, get ahead of us because we're Asian and we're brown and our skin colors this. We don't get the opportunity. Everyone used to play the race card all the time that, oh, we don't get the chance. And then Amir Khan came along, and Amir Khan became the reason why Amir Khan became so big and such a superstar, because so many Asians started looking up to him and started to say that this guy in a country where he came out of nowhere. He won a silver medal at the age of 17, and he shocked everybody. He was like a 17-year-old kid, British Pakistani kid, come and won a silver medal, like, and he wasn't expected to do anything. He inspired a lot of people, and people like myself, he inspired us because he made us believe that, you know what, we can do something in this country. We can achieve stuff. Because before that, a lot of people thought that, you know, we don't get a fair shake in this country because everyone used to play the race card. But Amir Khan put a rest to that no, like, he was 17 and he proved that, no, it is possible to achieve, you see. So that's why I feel like Amir Khan was like a trailblazer. He was the first one that came through, not just in boxing. I'm talking in all backgrounds. In the UK. You can't think of anyone from any background, British, Asian, right, to get to the level that he got to in his field. There's no one. I can't. Maybe Jay Sean before. Like, there are Asians now that have become famous, but I'm talking when Amir Khan got to the top, there was really no one there in the UK. Maybe Jay Sean from the music industry. But apart from that, I can't really think of any Asians that were quite big. So that's why he became so big, and that's why he was looked up to so many people, myself. And to be honest, that aside, let's be honest, and I think everyone that watched Amir Khan, and I know everyone watched Amir Khan, let's be honest, he was probably one of the most exciting fighters. And as I was saying earlier, Amir Khan wasn't a Mayweather, Canelo, Pacquiao. He wasn't in that kind of class. However, he was a world-class fighter, and he was so exciting. There's no doubt about it. He was one of the most exciting fighters that I've seen. The Maidana fight was probably the best fight I ever saw. And Maidana, by the way, was one of my favorite fighters as well. What a fighter he was. I just think that he's like, there's other British Pakistanis fighting now. There's that other one, the other guy coming through, Hamza, but I don't have that same connection because I feel like there was something special about Khan. There was some in the ring. He was brilliant. He used to make mistakes, and he was erratic, but he was brilliant at the same time. He was just unbelievable to watch. Maybe it's just me because I had that emotional connection with him, but he was unbelievable to watch. Another one that I really loved was Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was probably my all-time favorite, and he's obviously an all-time great fighter as well. I think his style and Khan's style for me were just like unbelievable, where like they just really excited me, and I used to love watching. Like, you'd never fall asleep when you watch Khan or Pacquiao, right? Like, I watched Mayweather against Maidana. The second fight, I fell asleep because it was late, 4 o'clock. You know, in the UK, those fights are late for us. And I actually fell asleep watching Mayweather because Mayweather's fights are boring. They don't give you that excitement. They don't get you like with a Khan fight. I know there's guaranteed drama. The only fight where Amir Khan let me as a fan of his for so many years down a little bit was Crawford. And I can forgive him a little bit because in the Crawford fight, I do feel like he was way past it. And I don't think he had great preparation in terms of the preparation, Vargas and Le Greco. But yeah, I think Amir Khan had a great career, to be honest with you. Okay, where are we? A lot of questions coming. Fantasy fight, Maidana v Porter. Maidana wins. Maidana's just as relentless as Porter. He's just as strong, punches harder. I pick Maidana in that one. Maidana on points. I think Maidana was as tough as Porter. I think Maidana punched harder than Porter. I think Maidana was as relentless as Porter. So I would favor Josh Taylor undisputed all 4 belts. Yes, I think so. I think Josh Taylor beats Ramirez, but it's close. It's close. I got Ramirez knocking Taylor out, Devin Cruz. Ooh, you set the cat amongst the pigeons. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think it's a 50-50. A lot of people think that a lot of people that think that, a lot of people think that Taylor's a massive favorite for some reason. I don't really see him a massive favorite. I see him a favorite. I don't see him a massive favorite. But yeah, I favor Taylor in the fight. I favor Taylor in the fight in that one, to be honest with you. Break it down, Devin. Break it down, Devin. Why do you think Ramirez beats Taylor? Tell me. Why don't you watch fights except the highlights? Why do you don't watch fights? I do watch the fights. I watch all of the fights. I watch all the fights. I got Taylor winning, but it will be the hardest fight. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Richard. Now you're talking. That will be the hardest fight. That will be the hardest fight. I actually think Ramirez is going to be a very hard fight. A lot of people think it's easy, except Pernell Whitaker. What about Pernell Whitaker? What a fighter! What a fighter Pernell Whitaker was. Sweet pea. What a legend that guy was. Taylor beats Ramirez easy, and yeah, people don't like Khan. We all know why, and that's it. Let's get it right. Yeah, as I said, yeah, we all know why. I don't really like to get into that stuff now, why and stuff, because you're kind of like you're kind of like, you know why he gets a lot of hate. There's no point of going over it because it's like in this I don't really like offending a lot of people, with all this stuff that goes on in the world right now, with even the BLM stuff. I don't really like getting involved in it because the problem is I don't want to upset people from a certain background. Because like I said, there's a lot of good white people out there. There's a lot better white people in the world than me. Right. And I don't like upsetting people, because what you're doing is, right, when you start saying all this stuff, you're starting to in my opinion, alienate people and start differentiating. And there's a lot of people that are good white people that get frustrated and get angry and get upset. And what happens is, what will happen is that background will start becoming like a race war. I don't really like that. I just view people as people. Humans are humans, and that's it. I don't really care about what background you're from. And I think most people are like that. But unfortunately, there are people that out there that, that unfortunately just, I don't know why they're like that, to be honest. Khan and Calzaghe are my favorite fighters. I like watching fast fighters. Beautiful to watch. Yes. That's why what a fighter Calzaghe was as well. Calzaghe was a very, very fast fighter. The thing is, with Calzaghe, he was before my time. I'm only 28. I didn't really see Calzaghe, to be honest with you. Calzaghe was before my time, but obviously, so when someone's before your time, and even though he was a great fighter, you don't have that same connection because he wasn't in around your time. Whereas Khan and Pacquiao, Khan was in his peak and Pacquiao was in his peak, and I was just at the right age to watch both of them. Pacquiao was just a monster. Let's be honest. That Pacquiao, the one that was fighting, the Cottos, the Hattons, and the Clotties and stuff. That Pacquiao was a monster, right? Let's be honest. He was too good. So Radai one says Prince Naseem. Yeah, Naseem was another British Asian. Yeah, I forgot about Naseem. Definitely Naseem was a showman. What a great fighter he was. A showman. Yeah, I completely forgot. It completely slipped my mind. Slipped my mind, actually. Yeah, Naseem was a very good fighter. I don't understand about Naseem's career, though. Naseem kind of like lost to Barrera and then just disappeared. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't know, like lost motivation and just disappeared. I don't know why. Like, Naseem, I don't know why Prince Naseem just disappeared off the scene. Naseem was the first fighter that I actually there was a Prince Naseem Hamed video game, and I actually watched that video game, and I became I got to know about Prince Naseem, and I actually thought Prince Naseem was the best fighter because I didn't really know much about boxing. I used to play with my friend, my next door neighbor. We used to play a video game called Prince Naseem video game. I don't know if you guys remember that game. And Naseem Hamed, I used to think he was the best ever. I remember once when I was in primary school, and because I used to play this game, I thought Naseem was the best boxer ever. And I remember coming home from primary. I remember arguing with this kid, right, at school, and we were saying who's the best boxers. And I was in primary school, year 5 or something. And he said to me, Muhammad Ali. And I didn't know who Muhammad Ali was when I was in year 4, whatever, however old I was. And I said Prince Naseem. And he was like, are you crazy? Muhammad Ali is way better than Prince. I was like, and I was shocked. I was like, what's this guy saying? How can anyone be better than Prince Naseem? Because I used to play the video game. Then I came back home and I was like intrigued. I was like, this guy's saying Muhammad Ali, how can anyone be better than Prince Naseem? Came back home, asked my dad. I was like, Dad, you know, is Prince Naseem is better than Muhammad Ali? And my dad started laughing at me. Like, he started laughing. He goes, no one's better than Muhammad Ali. And then that's when I realized, and that's when I got to know who Muhammad Ali was. The fact that he was such a great, but I actually thought, because I used to play that game and I didn't know much about boxing when I was in primary school, I thought Prince Naseem was better than Muhammad Ali. It's only when, obviously, now that I know about boxing, that was so absurd. Can you even say that Prince Naseem is better than Muhammad Ali? But that was what that at that time, that's how Prince Naseem had a great connection with Naseem, because Naseem, I used to play the video game. But really, when I got older and I started researching about Naseem's career and I started going, he was a good fighter. I actually think Naseem was a little overrated amongst the British fight fans because of all of the show stuff that he used to do, like, you know, the ring entrance and stuff. I don't think he was probably as good as what people made. He was a great fighter, of course, but I don't think he was as good as what people make him out to be. I think the resume, again, he was fighting guys that, you know, were top around that time, but I don't think he, you know, there's no Marquez is on there. There's no Morales is on there. And the best, like, put it this way, the best fighter he fought, he got beat by. I think his best win was against Kevin Kelly, who was an unbelievable fighter. He beat Robinson. He beat some other good names, you know, but I think his resume was a bit weak, if I'm honest with you. I don't think he had the greatest resume. He was a big puncher at featherweight, one of the biggest featherweight punchers. But again, I think his resume was a little questionable, Naseem's. But everyone, each their. Do you think the crowd is going to overwhelm BJS? I heard tickets. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders is going to care about the crowd. No, Billy Joe Saunders isn't about caring about the crowd. I can't see him being worried about what crowd, who's there. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders is about that, to be honest. I think Billy Joe Saunders is just going to do Billy Joe Saunders. He's Yemeni, but he is Muslim and still Asian. Yes, he is Yemeni. Naseem Hamed is from a Yemen background, and he is Muslim and still Asian. Yes. I don't know how it slipped my mind. I think the reason why I think Amir Khan got he became so big, I think because he was from a British Pakistani background, and I think the political situation in the UK when he came through wasn't great because we had the London bombings and stuff. So I think that's why I think he represented the British Pakistani community, who were, you know, at that point looked down upon because of the London bombings. I think he was kind of like a spark for a lot of Asian people. And I think Naseem's the political background when Naseem was around, I think, was a little bit different, to be honest. But nevertheless, Naseem was special, and he definitely did come before Khan, and he is definitely Asian. So yeah, he was. So you could say Khan was a second trailblazer, really. And Naseem definitely was the first one, for sure. Amir Khan got me into boxing, including my family. Yeah, I think a lot of people. I think that's not just you. I think a lot of people probably see it the way. Naz Yemen, yeah, he is from Yemen. Yes, Naz is Yemen. But would you say Yemen is still from an Asian background, right? I think so. He's Arab, like it's like Arabic, kind of like Arab background. So yeah, it's a different background, but still kind of, you know. But you could say Amir Khan was first, like, British from like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Sri Lanka. He was the first one from those countries really to break through. Because when we think of like Asia, a lot of people would think of like India, Pakistan. Like, although Amir Khan's British, let's get that out there. He's born in Britain. He's not Pakistani, or he's not Indian. He's British. But his parents were born in Pakistan, so you can say he's British Pakistani. On his passport, it'd be British Pakistani. So yeah, Israel Vasquez. Lennox Lewis, what about him? One of the greatest British fighters of all time. The greatest British fighter of all time, in my opinion. The greatest British fighter of all time. Lennox Lewis. What a fighter. His resume is unbelievable. Beat everybody. He was a top fighter in that era, weren't he? I like the Maidana fight. Khan made a statement earlier. I like the Maidana fight. Khan made a statement. Yeah, that was a great fight. The only downside was Khan's chin. Yep. Didn't have the greatest chin. But nevertheless, some people have slow feet. Some people have no power. Some people have poor chins. Unfortunately, that's just a weakness he had, my brother. His chin wasn't the greatest. Khan, Pac-Man, GG are my sort of favorites. Yeah. Pac-Man's everyone's favorite, to be honest with you. GG, what a fighter he was. He was a formidable. Again, GG, Triple G was a guy that was, again, nobody wanted to fight him. And he was kind of a guy that just didn't get the big fights. He didn't get the big fights. Otherwise, he, again, for me, didn't have the resume in his prime. He didn't get the fighters. Cotto and all those guys avoided him in his prime because they knew this guy was a beast. They didn't want to fight him. But hopefully, Golovkin can get the third Canelo fight and then sail off into the sunset. He definitely deserves it. But Yemen isn't in Africa or Europe, though. It's Middle Eastern, and Naz appealed to many Muslims. Yeah, he did. Yemen isn't in Africa or Europe, though. Yeah, it isn't. So Middle Eastern, and Naz appeared to many. Yeah, he did. He actually, to be honest with you, Naz was actually more, or he came across, I don't know whether, I don't know. He was probably a little bit more like religious, like he used to even recite the Quran before the fights and stuff. Like he used to, I remember before the Barrera fight, so yeah, he was actually a little bit, or he came across like more practicing. I don't know if he was actually more practicing, like I don't know, because God knows what they do when the camera's not there and stuff. But in terms of like, he was, in the ring and on camera, he definitely showed that he was a Muslim. That's for sure. A lot more than Amir did. But Amir again was somebody that was a proud Muslim as well. So Pac-Man Al Magnifico. Yeah, he was definitely Al Magnifico. For me, Pac-Man was him and Mayweather the best in this era, without question. Him and Mayweather the best fighters of this era for me. Once Mayweather started handpicking fights, that's when I stopped. That's when you stop what? Watching him? That's when you stop what? Khan was the real game, just not the best chin. Yeah, he was the real game. He didn't have the greatest chin, unfortunately. He didn't have the greatest chin. If he did, would have another Pac-Man. He didn't have Pac-Man's power either. He wasn't as devastating a puncher as Pac-Man. Pac-Man came from a third world country. Imagine all the things he had to go through. Yeah, he did. Pac-Man, he had to go through a lot. Like he said, like some of his stories are so inspiring. Like he said, some days I had no water. Some days I had like no food. Like imagine that. Like imagine that. Like some people are so ungrateful. Some people are so ungrateful, and they've got everything. And this guy came from a background where he didn't even have water. He didn't have food. He didn't know where his next grain of food was coming from, and this guy is one of the greatest boxers ever. Like, I don't think any boxer had that kind of story, right? What boxers had that story? No one. I don't think any fighters had that kind of difficulty that Pac-Man probably had. This guy's had some tough journey to the top, man. I feel like if Taylor fights Ramirez like he did with Prograis, he will get knocked out. Taylor must box on the outside. But Taylor can fight on the inside as well. But Ramirez has fast hands. He does have fast hands. He's got a bit of pop as well. So I don't know. I think a lot of people think Taylor wins that fight easy. I don't know. Let's see, man. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a nip and tuck. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think Ramirez didn't look good against Postal, so his stock went down. But Taylor is a good fighter. He's very, very good. Very, very good. So it's a tough one. It's a tough fight, man. It's a tough fight. It could go either way. But I'd pick Taylor, man. I'm picking Taylor. Okay, no problem. Mystic Matt, Whittaker was on Mayweather's level. Yeah, he was. Whittaker was special. Whittaker was like defensive fighter. Like defensively, yes, he was great. No disrespect to Floyd, but I go for Manny over Floyd. Overall rankings of all-time greats. Reason Pat didn't come from a boxing family. Pat's dad isn't a boxer. In fact, he left them when he was a boy. But I don't know whether that's a reason where you can put him ahead of Mayweather for that, though. Do you think he should be, he could be put ahead of Mayweather because of that? I don't know. I don't know whether you can just put him ahead of Mayweather for that. But again, I get where you're coming from. And Manny Pacquiao did a lot of like 8 division world champion and all that. But again, Floyd beat him. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. Pacquiao's a legend. I love Pacquiao, but I think there's kind of even between. I love both of them. Floyd boxing knowledge came from his family with born silver and boxing knowledge wise. Yeah, he was. He was from a boxing background. Floyd Manny boxing IQ. Floyd greater than Manny. Floyd boxing IQ is on a different level and he did, to be fair. He did. But Manny Pacquiao made a lot of good world-class fighters look terrible as well. He beat them up, Look what he did to Cotto. He absolutely obliterated Cotto. So yeah, Mayweather was special though. He made a lot of good fighters look. He dominated a lot of top fighters. He's the best adapter in boxing. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Mayweather was. He was. Look at the Mosley fight when he got hit with a right hand and then how he came back in that fight and just schooled Mosley. I think that just tells you like that punch that landed on Mayweather. Firstly, like that would have knocked a lot of guys out, to be honest. And I think a lot of people may not have been able to recover from that. And they might have, Mayweather, the way he came back from that, it's unbelievable. And then he schooled Mosley. Zab Judah was a much faster than Floyd, adapted though, and dominated. He was, yeah. Zab Judah was really fast, wasn't he? And Mayweather just dominated that fight. Mayweather dominated everyone. Respect Floyd. I actually rank Floyd the best defensive fighter of all time. Yep, I think there's no question about that. But in my opinion, Pac is the best defensive and most exciting. Yeah, after 2 years, he is more exciting without question. I want to see Khan v. Broner. Yeah, I like that fight as well. I think it makes sense for both. Hamed's hands went. That's why he retired. He was 28. How crazy is that? Yeah, his hands did go. But still, a lot of boxers' hands go. They still carry on fighting. But again, it just depends. I just think Naseem lost love for the sport, to be honest. Wasn't Calzaghe's hands bad as well? Still kept going. Calzaghe had very bad hands as well. Well, Sugar Ray Robinson is a better than Ali, but that was a cool story. Sugar Ray Robinson is better than Ali. Yeah. Sugar Ray Robinson was special. I think Ali's story was obviously inspiring, and what he did was inspiring, for sure. And his uncle. So I've said Floyd should be expected to be that good. Reason his dad and has been pro. Even Floyd Senior fought Sugar Ray. Yeah, he did. Floyd Senior did, and he got knocked out. He got knocked out by Sugar Ray Leonard. And his uncle Roger. Mayweathers are known as boxing family. Yeah, they are. Floyd grew up with boxing gloves. Yeah, he did. Pacquiao start from scratch. Yeah, you got a good point. Pacquiao's a better fighter. I agree with you. He loves to fight and bring an offensive display, but technically, boxing ability and as a boxer, I got Floyd slightly. Yes, I agree. Nas also won every belt. WBO, WBA, WBC, and IBF. Did he win every belt? I thought he won 3 belts. I don't know whether Nas won every single belt. Did he win every belt? Let me check that. I don't think he won every belt. I thought he won 3 belts. Let me see this. Let me check this. Naseem Hamed. Quickly check this on my phone. Naseem Hamed. Naseem Hamed, nicknamed Prince Naseem Hamed. Naz is a former British professional boxer who competed in 1992-2002. He held multiple world championships, WBO title, the IBF title, and the WBC title. No, so he didn't have the WBA. He had WBO, IBF, and WBC. So he never held the WBA. Yeah, so Mystic Mac, Naz had WBO, WBC, and IBF. He didn't have the WBA. I agree. If you teach a young boy boxing, teach him the way Mayweather do. He's that technical. Yep, he's brilliant. But now that's Pac's career almost done, we understand now he fights that way, kind of awkward. Yep. Weird angles you just can't teach in boxing school. Yeah, you can't. He's unique, ain't he? Do you think Pacquiao lost versus Mayweather? What do you think, Jonathan? What do you think, Jonathan? Did you think Pacquiao lost against Mayweather? I thought he clearly lost. But again, love to know your opinion. I saw the replay Pacquiao Mayweather, and I saw Manny beat him. How did you think he beat him? How did you see that fight play out? Like, what made you think he won that fight? Hamza Kakri, David Benavidez v Canelo. Canelo wins. Would Ricky Hatton have beaten Maidana? I don't know. Ricky Hatton beaten Maidana? No, I don't think so. But again, I would love to have seen it. I think Maidana might have been too strong for him, to be honest. But again, who did Ricky fight that was good as Marcus Maidana? Costa Tszyu was 36 and past his best. Castillo was 33. He was not his A game as well. He was past his best. I don't think he fought anyone as good as Maidana, to be fair. You know, I think Maidana would have... Yeah, he did struggle with Collazo. I thought he lost against Collazo personally. I think his best win, like emphatic dominant win, was definitely Malignaggi. I think people talk about Costa Tszyu, but I think the Malignaggi fight, he dominated that fight against Malignaggi. That was a good win. Costa Tszyu was a little old. He was 36, you know, and Hatton was 28 at the time. So Costa Tszyu wasn't in his prime. So it's hard for me to judge that one. They stripped Wilfred Vasquez, who was the WBA champ at the time, because he fought Naz. They stripped Wilfred Vasquez, who was the WBA champ at the time, because he fought Naz. But why did they strip him? Why did they strip Wilfred Vasquez? Ricky Hatton struggled with Collazo. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He definitely did struggle with Collazo for sure. Guys, I just wanted to ask, what do you make of like the picture quality? I'm doing this on my Mac, and the microphone. What do you make of the quality? Thurman Maidana was supposed to fight for Eliminator, but it never happened. It was scheduled. That would have been a good fight. Would have been a very good fight. Would have loved to have seen that fight. Thurman was a good fighter as well, to be fair. Thurman was good. Because he chose a unification bout with Naz instead of defending. Because he chose a unification bout with Naz. But don't unifications trump mandatories? Like, what are you saying? That he chose a unification fight, so they stripped him? Decent quality. Sounds very good, mate. Thank you. The Hit and Don't Get Hit podcast. Appreciate it, brother. I can also plug my microphone into this as well, which is good. I might plug that in. That's terrible. I don't know why they were stripped Naz, to be fair. Do you think you'll start doing live commentary to fights that would be good to... Yeah, I will. I will. Every fight now. Next week, Dylan White v Povetkin. I'll do one for that. I'll do one for that. Is Dylan White Povetkin? No, that's on Sky. That's not on DAZN. That would be good if it was on DAZN. But yeah, obviously I'm gonna get that fight anyway. Bradley and Maidana was supposed to fight also. Oh, that would have been a great fight. Who would you have picked for that one? You know what? I think Maidana could have done Bradley, you know. I think Maidana could have. I think Bradley could have. I mean, Maidana could have outworked Bradley. Plus, Maidana was a bigger puncher. When you look at the fight that Bradley had with Prodnikov, right? I think Maidana might have done him. I do. I think Maidana could have done Bradley. Especially Bradley was strange because he beat Marquez, right? He beat some good fighters, and then he got drew and had trouble with Vargas. He had trouble with Prodnikov. He had trouble with a lot of fighters that you think that you wouldn't expect him to have trouble with. Bradley is a tough cookie. He beat Lamont Peterson. Bradley's a tough cookie. He did be very tough. That's what I mean. He was tough. He had a great granite chin. He had a granite chin, mate. Bradley had a granite chin. Bradley's have you ever boxed? Just like in the gym, like, I don't know if you've seen me interview Tony McKenzie, the British light welterweight champion. Tony McKenzie. I'll hopefully get him on the channel as well. I've got him on the channel many times, but hopefully I'll get him onto a live and you guys can have a chat with him. Like he's good, had a good career as well. He was a British champion. And unfortunately things didn't work out. Otherwise, he was in the top 10 on the 140-pound division in his day. Tony McKenzie. And I do a little bit sometimes, we've worked out on the bag. I'm not nothing serious or no amateur or nothing, but a little bit on the bag. Nothing very, serious. Boxing's tough, man. It's easy talking about it. It's hard doing it, man. When you get punched in the nose, it's tough. That's what I mean. That's why giving fighters stick, mate. It's not easy, man. It's very difficult doing what they do. Getting hit in the face is not easy, man. When you get punched in the face and your eyes start to water and you get hit with a body shot, like, oh my God, it's terrible. If I remember correctly, this is your first live chat. Bobby, how are you, brother? No, this isn't my first live chat. I've done many live chats before. But I've done many live chats before. But I think this guy is trying to say Vasquez got stripped of the WBA because he faced Naz for the lineal instead of the mandatory at the time. Some guy called Cerameno. Okay. Face Naz for the lineal of the mandatory. Okay. Yeah, but why would he get stripped though? Instead of facing the mandatory. Some guy called. Yeah, but why would he get stripped? I don't understand that. Because unifications trump mandatories. Did you watch Ortiz v Hooker fight? Yes, I did. I did watch that fight. I've got the DAZN app. I bought it $190. I mean, the membership $199. You can't go wrong. Yeah, man. Ortiz, he looked good, man. Ortiz looked good. He the fight ending to the fight was strange, but Ortiz he's a big puncher. He's a big puncher. But I think like with Ortiz, right? His feet like stuck in the mud a little bit. Like someone like Crawford would pick him apart for me. But he is heavy-handed. But he seems like he's a fighter. He's got to be set to land those blows. And someone like Crawford will just use a lot of lateral movement and pick him apart. I know he's talking about the Crawford fight, but I think that might be a little bit too early for him. So Mystic Mac, I whooped Henry Castles as an amateur. Henry Castles. Who's that, Mystic Mac? Henry Castles. The hit and don't get hit. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You're certainly right about that. You're certainly right about that. Everyone has a plan. That's Mike Tyson's. Ryan Garcia needs to fight Tank next. Yes, Ryan Garcia, he needs to fight Tank next. I'd love to see that fight. That would be a great fight. Great fight. I would love to see it myself. What a fight that would be. Look him up. He was a pro. I will. Henry Castles. I will definitely look him up. He beat up a 17-year-old girl. Right. Okay. Okay. So give it another couple of minutes and then. Oh, Graham. Graham O. Who's Graham O? Is it you mean Errol Graham? Henry Castle beat Errol Graham. It's not Graham L. You mean Errol Graham? Yes. There is White Povetkin this Saturday. I've got Povetkin. I've got Povetkin by knockout, but I hope I'm wrong. No, Graham Earl, who beat Khan. Graham Earl. Graham Earl didn't. No, Graham Earl beat Khan. What, as an amateur? Let me type Graham Earl. Oh yeah. He lost to Amir Khan by TKO. He fought Michael Castidis as well. And Ricky Burns. Fair play. He fought Castidis twice. He lost to Castidis by unanimous decision. And he fought Henry Castle as well. Henry Castle, inactive. He last fought in 2009. Gary Buckland. He lost to Gary Buckland. I heard of Gary Buckland. Graham Earl. He had 25 fights, 20-5. Not a bad record, actually. Yeah. Can't beat. I'm saying can't beat him. Oh yeah, can't. Yeah, he did. Initially, you said. I thought you said Graham O beat. No, Graham O who can't beat. Yeah, sorry, I read your thing wrong. That was a good win for the time for Khan. Yeah, but that guy was a British level fighter. Khan was, for me, always going to win. Against British level guys. Even though he got dropped against Willie Limon, didn't he? Canelo or GGG? What are you asking me? Who would win if they fight now, or who do I prefer as a fighter? Canelo wins that fight now. Out of the two, I prefer Canelo. Khan v Errol Graham. Khan won in 2000 round. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did win. That was when Khan was coming through. Graham O is a boxer from Luton. Khan beat him in 1 round. Yeah, just saw it now. And I stopped Henry Castle in the southern counties. Wow. So that means you must have been good then, Mystic Mac. You must have been a good fighter if you beat a pro like Henry Castle. Khan was coming up at the time he was a prospect, and Graham Earl had a war with Castidis, who was world level, and Khan stopped him in 1. It was a setup at British level. Yeah. It's a good performance. Jessica Imran, I like your videos. Your real greetings from Los Angeles. Greetings to you as well, and thank you I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Mystic Mac, pretty good. Yeah, you must have been pretty good. You must have been pretty good. So didn't you turn pro then? No, you didn't. Fair enough. Yeah, just a quick one. Oh man. Yeah, so just a quick one. Give it another couple minutes, and then I'm gonna end this live stream. It's been over 2 hours. Long live stream. What I'll do is I'll do another one tomorrow. You think Luis Ortiz is a boogeyman of the heavyweight? Yeah, I do. I think Luis Ortiz is a very underrated heavyweight. I think he's a quality heavyweight, by the way. I think he's a guy that's just... He's a guy that's not got the big fights, but you know, he got Wilder and he got beat twice against Wilder. But I do think Luis Ortiz, I'd love to see him against Dillian Whyte. I'd love to see him against Povetkin. I'd love to see him against the winner of Povetkin. But again, who's gonna want to fight him? He's old. His day's done for me. But I'd love to see him in those fights. You know, hopefully he can get a few. You know, he's got a daughter that's, you know, got a disability like Wilder's daughter, so it would be great, you know, for him to, you know, whatever money he can make for his daughter. I think he made some good money from the 2 Wilder fights, but it's good to see him, you know, make some more for his, you know, daughter, give her the best life. Bradley Doherty, love your vids, bro. Would love you to touch on the fact MTK Global are hoping Bud pulls this off so they can break true with him. Thank you, Bradley, for loving my video. I appreciate your support. The MTK Global are hoping Bud pulls this off so they can break true with him. So break away from Top Rank so MTK can sign Crawford. I heard something about that. I heard something about, you know, Crawford and MTK, potentially Crawford signing for MTK. But I didn't know whether it was nonsense. I hope, listen, MTK are doing big things in boxing. So if he signs with MTK, you know, MTK might sort him out. Cuban style fighting is interesting, yeah. Chris Eubank Jr. is fighting Marcus Morrison. Don't know why he is fighting domestic level. I don't know myself, Anu. I don't know myself, Anumi. I don't know why he's fighting Marcus Morrison. It's because he's been out the ring for a very long time. Chris Eubanks never fights. He never fights. I don't know what he does. He never fights. He fights once every 2 years. Yeah, so like hopefully Mark beats Marcus Morrison and then maybe the winner of Liam Williams and Andrade. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Or if he fights Marcus Morrison then ends up fighting Kell Brook, that would be disappointing. Big up MTK, yeah, big up MTK. They're doing big things. I see Andy Ortiz being pound for pound as soon as he gets a world title in the heavyweight. Andy Ortiz? Who's Andy Ortiz? Jessica. Who's Andy Ortiz? You mean Luis Ortiz? Luis Ortiz, I'm pretty sure you're talking about Luis King Kong. So Eddie Hearn might put Eubank v Brook and put it on pay-per-view for a pound note. Lol. It will be on pay-per-view if that fight happens. And we'll buy it as well. Let's be honest. I'll buy that. But it's not pay-per-view worthy. Chisora Parker's not pay-per-view worthy, but we'll buy it, right? So, you know, it is what it is. Red Cloud, how are you, brother? You mean Luis Ortiz never fought Anthony Joshua, Jessica? Red Cloud. Though Khan has got exposure with sparring exploits against Pac-Man, very much like Kambosos, Postal, and other fighters that became sparring partners, mate. Khan is the most talented out of all, though. Yeah, he is out of all the names that you mentioned there. Pacquiao sparred with Porter as well. Porter was his sparring partner. He's done quite a lot. Pacquiao's a legend, man. Pacquiao's, you know, he's just exceptional. I went blank. All right, okay, yeah. The build-up for Eubank Brook would be fun. Yeah, it will be because they don't like each other. They've said a lot of crap. Oh, you mean Andy Ruiz? Oh, yeah, Andy Ruiz. Yeah, Andy. Oh, when you said Andy Ortiz, I thought you meant Luis. I was like, who's Andy Ortiz? Yeah, Andy Ruiz. Yeah, he could be. Andy Ruiz is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. Just needs to stay out of the fridge. You know, and if you can keep away from the fridge and keep training hard, then yes, Andy Ruiz is a problem for any heavyweight. He just needs to stay away from the fridge. The build-up for Eubank Brook will be fun. Yes, it will be fun. It will be fun. For sure. For sure. Khan got a silver medal at the Olympics 17 and was a big name from then in the UK. Yeah, he was. You're right, Richard. He was a massive name. A huge name in the UK was Khan. Khan's still a big name. Which two boxers in the UK? There's only two boxers in the UK that are bigger than Khan even now. Khan's not relevant anymore in terms of at world level, but there's only two boxers that are bigger than Amir Khan in UK, and that's Fury and Joshua. Look at Khan's social media numbers. He's still huge numbers. She means Andy. Yep, Andy Ruiz. Yeah, Ruiz. Ruiz is a great fighter. Ruiz is a guy that he just needs to stay out of the fridge. He needs to keep away from those tacos. Yeah, he sure does. You know, I don't know whether he went to Mexico and just teared into all of the fast, into all the restaurants. Andy Ruiz was like living the life. He was living like a king when he beat Joshua. He bought a massive house. He kind of was softened up a little bit after that victory. Who do you think is the greatest fighter still alive? I say Duran, then Leonard. Who's the greatest fighter still alive? Some may say Mayweather, some may say Duran, some may say Leonard, some may say, I'd say Leonard, man. Leonard was special as well. You know, Hagler lost his life. Hagler died recently as well. What a fighter he was, man. Legend. Robert Harrison, how are you, brother? What do you think of the Felix Cash, and how much chance do you give him? Do you give BJ Saunders? You know, Felix Cash, he's an up and coming fighter. He's a good fighter. Felix Cash, he's 154 pounder, isn't he? I saw his last fight. Felix Cash is looking very good. I'm pretty sure he's 154 pounder. Felix Cash. Felix Cash is 154 pounder. I'm very sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robert. I'm pretty sure Felix Cash is a 154 pounder. He's looking very good. Let me just check that. Felix Cash. He's undefeated as well, Felix Cash. Good fight. No, he's middleweight. Sorry, my bad. He's middleweight. Yeah, I saw his fight against Jason Wellborn. He battered Jason Wellborn, and Jason Wellborn gave Jarrett Hurd a lot of problems. Yeah, that was a good win from Felix Cash. I think this guy's a good fighter. But obviously, we got to see him at the minute. He's fighting at Commonwealth, British level. When he steps up a little bit. But yeah, he's a good fighter, Felix Cash. Very good fighter. Cash is a middleweight Commonwealth champion. Yes, I've just checked it. Yeah, he beat Jason Wellborn. Jason Wellborn fought Jarrett Hurd, and he gave Jarrett Hurd work in that fight. I was watching. I can't remember what undercard. It was on an undercard, I believe. And I'm telling you, Jason Wellborn gave Jarrett Hurd the business in that fight. He gave Jarrett Hurd the business in that fight. Bradley Doherty, Lara Warrington rematch. How do you think it will go? I think Lara. I don't know. I think Lara might do him again. Because for me, that guy Warrington's a good fighter, but he comes and fights one way. He's a guy he takes a punch and then he's a tough guy. He likes to outwork you. He surrounds you and swarms you. But Lara looked beast to me. I don't know. Is Warrington going to be able to change up? Because he can't fight Lara the way he fights. He's going to get bashed up again. That guy's one tough Mexican. I don't think that would be a good idea for him to go toe-to-toe with that guy, right? Because if he goes toe-to-toe with that guy, he's in big, big trouble. He needs to box, stay on the outside. But I don't know whether Warrington can do that. Do you guys think he can do that? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'd say Duran. He was my favorite fighter of all time. Duran was special. Duran was a great fighter. But I think Leonard was better, to be honest. I think Leonard was probably an edge. I think Hagler was probably the beast out of the bunch, but I think Leonard was probably, I think Leonard was the best for me. You think Dubois can be a problem in the heavyweight division? I hope so. I like Dubois. I hope so. I think Dubois can be a problem. I think Dubois could be a problem, but again, I think people are going to be writing him off now after the Joyce fight. I think it was a bit too early for him against Joyce. Joyce was very experienced, and to be honest, he did well in that fight against Joyce. His eye went you know, and a lot of people gave him a lot of stick. He's a young kid. His eye went, and he did the right thing to take a knee because you don't want damage to your eye. You know, you don't want to lose your eyesight for boxing. Simple as that. He did the right thing by taking the knee because he weren't going to win that fight. His eyesight was bad. His eye was swollen. He got hit there and he had to take a knee. And I thought the criticism that he got was disgusting, by the way. Some of the people like Spencer Fearon, guys like that who are, who I respect and he's got a lot of knowledge, Spencer Fearon, but he said he quit and stuff like that. Come on, man. I just didn't like the stick he got. He's a young kid. Like, why do people love to give people stick? Just get behind him. He's a young kid. He stepped up. It didn't work out for him. And he's a good kid. I hope he comes back, and I hope he can get to the top. I feel he can. I think he's got power. He needs to work on a few things, and I think he can definitely get to the top without question. I just think he fought a very good fighter in George Joyce, who's like a machine, really. Red Eye. Oh no, so Anumia. How do you think Campbell Hatton will do? I don't know. I've never seen him fight, so I don't know. Hopefully he does well. Hopefully he can get to his father's level. But I don't. As of right now, I can't say. I've not seen him fight. I believe he's fighting next week, right? Is he fighting on the Dylan White undercard? So yeah, we'll see. Find out. Let's see what he's about next week. Red Eye Cash is 160, bro. Yeah, I've just checked that. Yeah, he's 160. Fought Jason Welborn in his last fight. Burning Desire, hi. How's it going, Burning Desire? We've had many chats on YouTube. Now I get to speak to you live. Cash is a middleweight Commonwealth champion. Yes, he is. Do you believe that Billy Joe Saunders did get dropped in sparring, or is it mind game? No, he didn't get dropped in sparring. He's playing mind games with Canelo, but I don't know why he's playing mind games. Canelo doesn't care. Is Eddie Hearn overrated as a promoter? No, he's not. He's the best promoter in the world. Eddie Hearn right now is an unbelievable promoter. He's like, if I was a boxer, I'd want him to be my promoter. That's for sure. Burning Desire, Chisora v Parker. Who wins? Chisora. I'm going for Chisora. Amir Iqbal. Victor Ortiz v Amir Khan. Who wins in their prime? Amir Khan. Khan stopped Ortiz in the amateurs. He certainly did. Cal 77 UK. Amir Khan is the most famous Pakistani in the UK and transcends, but looked a wally on I'm a Celebrity, but made lots of money and even got 7 million fighting a bum in the Middle East. Billy Dib's not a bum. Billy Dib was a former world champion, former featherweight world champion. So he's no bum. But yeah, it was a lot of money for fighting Dib at that point, and he's not. Dib wasn't a welterweight. But yeah, he's a big name. But Dib, he was supposed to fight that Indian guy, Niraj Goyat, weren't he? So Dib was a step up from Niraj Goyat, that's for sure. People dissed Lara, but this timing was brilliant. Yeah, it was. They did diss him, and listen, Lara bashed up Warrington badly. I was so sad Warrington lost. The Mexican beat him, and he had no chance. Why were you sad? Aren't you Mexican, Jessica? He was better, but I'm talking greatest. He was better. What are you talking about, Kristen? Who was the greatest? At 140, Victor Ortiz stops Khan back in 2008. Power and speed, but now Khan wins it easy. I don't know. Would Victor Ortiz stop Amir Khan? I don't know. Victor Ortiz was good, though. He was a good fighter. I don't know. Bradley Doherty. Lara was a beast. Lara was a beast with power punches. He certainly was. In design, no Khan stops Ortiz at 2010, 2011. So everyone's got their opinions. In your opinion, who wins, BJ or Plant? Ooh, that's a great fight. That's a good fight. That's a tough one. You know what? Plant's very good, Plant's not had big marquee fights. He's very good. And he's a natural super middleweight. That's a 50-50. I'd love to see that. Who would you pick, Robert? Thanks, bro. Big up to you for answering questions. No worries, bro. That's why I'm here. What we love Eddie Hearn in the States. He's better than De La Hoya, way better promoter, 100%. Eddie Hearn's the best promoter right now. No fighters are bum. All fighters deserve respect. Richard, there you go, brother. Especially a former world champion is no bum. What do you think of Tyan Burning Desire? What do you think of Tyan Booth and his YouTube channel? The guy's hilarious. I think he's brilliant. I think he's brilliant. I just think that sometimes he can go over the mark. You know, when he's talking about Michelle Joy Phelps and that, and he's like saying some of the stuff that he says, I think it's a bit rude. Like I wouldn't, when you've got a bit of name like he has, like he's quite famous in terms of on YouTube. Like you know, he gets a lot of views and stuff. So I think it's quite rude to go and speak about people like that. Like fair enough, like with the boxers and stuff, like I don't really mind him. And I think everybody knows he's doing it for a bit of laugh and joke, but obviously it depends. Not everybody takes that stuff kindly. And I think when he does it with like Michelle Joy Phelps and calls her some of the names, I mean, that's a bit harsh, but I think it's funny. I think he's funny and I like watching him. Don't get me wrong. I watch his videos, to be fair. So, yeah, I just think sometimes you just got to be a little bit careful, you know, with what you say. But, you know, he's a funny guy. I like him. The four kings, Leonard was the best, but Duran was the greatest. Most boxing pugilists have Duran top. Yeah, they do. Out of the four, Leonard was the best, but Duran was the greatest. Yeah, probably. I get where you're coming from now. Duran is, but wouldn't you put Leonard in your top 10 of all time? Andrew Ruiz wants Deontay Wilder. Who do you think wins? Depends on what Deontay Wilder we get. I would say Wilder, but I don't know. I'm not saying it with any confidence. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I don't know. That's a very tough one. I heard Canelo is natural 160. You agree? Canelo's naturally whatever. Canelo can fight at whatever weight. I think Canelo's just a beast. You know, Canelo can fight at whatever weight he wants. Between 170 and 175 and 160. Fight wherever he wants. Beast. Michelle Joyce Phelps deserves it, to be honest. Fight gamer. Why does she deserve it? Why? Tell me. The year of the gypsies. Fury wins. BJS wins. What would UK do? What do you mean? Robert, what do you mean by that? Fury wins, BJ's wins. What would UK do? What would they do? Didn't Canelo kill a sparring partner? Did he? I don't know about that. Anomia, Wilder is mentally ill. Ruiz would dangerous if he can. Ruiz would dangerous if he can stay away from the distractions. Yeah, if he can, like I said earlier, if he can stay out of his fridge, he would be a problem, without question. Do you seriously think Chisora beats Parker? I think he deserves the win. I believe he will beat Parker after watching Parker's performance against Junior Farr. Chisora. I don't really rate Parker anymore. I think Parker, he's let me down. I really rated him when I first saw him against Takam, but then after that, he's just gone downhill. But it's a big ask. Yeah. Is it a big ask? I don't, you know, Chisora did, I mean, Usyk, a good fight. And for me, Usyk would eat up Parker. No problem. I read it somewhere. It's reported Canelo. Oh, is it? I don't know. I've never heard what recently, years ago. When did you hear this? And who do you want to see Khan and Brook fight next? I'd like to see Brook fight Jesse Vargas, and I'd like to see Khan fight Adrian Broner. I say Michelle deserves it because she's stuck up and she treated Rob Tebbett from Boxing Show bad. Apparently, she bullies her employees. Wow, I didn't know about that. Now I saw their Twitter beef, but I didn't know. I didn't know that she treats him badly. I didn't know about that. Years ago, 2014. Right. Okay. Okay. I'll have to check that. I didn't know about that. Broner looked so basic and in fight a few weeks ago. Yeah, he did. I think, against Santiago. Yeah, he looked bad. He didn't look good at all. He looked terrible, to be fair. He didn't look good at all. Where? Hamza Kakri, where? I don't know, but it's a rumor about Canelo. I don't know, to be honest. I never heard about that. Prime Prince James v Prime Eric Morales. Eric Morales. Who have you got? Was Roman Gonzalez robbed? Yes. Yes, he was. I believe he won that fight. Chocolatito deserved that fight. BJS becomes WBC, WBO, WBA Ring Magazine champ. I know you don't think he will, brother, but if he pulls it off, what would you say? Also, thank for your channel. You put in a lot of work. Thank you, brother. So I know you think he won't, but brother, if he pulls it off, what would you say? I would say it's the best win by a British fighter of all time. That's what I would say. Are Eubank Jr. fan? Lots of people seem to hate him, including fighters. Yes, because he's the son of a very famous father, and looks quite stuck up. He seems quite arrogant. He can sometimes be disrespectful. So I understand why people don't like him. But I actually think he's done quite well, to be fair. Willie Hutchinson, are you seeing what I am? Willie Hutchinson, yes. The people say that he's the next Joe Calzaghe. He's this, he's that. But we got to wait and see. He's training in the Ingle gym with Brendan Ingle. Let's see how he develops. See, I don't really like comparing anybody to a legend like that. Comparing him to Calzaghe or someone like that, because there's levels and levels apart right now, and comparing somebody, I just think puts more pressure on somebody, because comparing him to a legend like Calzaghe and saying he's going to become like Calzaghe is just a silly thing to say. Fury v Lewis, who would win? Lewis, he's just Lewis was very versatile. He was also a very big puncher. He was also very smart, had very good ring IQ. I would favor Lewis in that one. Hamza Kakri, who would you give Canelo a problem? Beterbiev. Why didn't Floyd Mayweather, the car channel, why didn't Floyd Mayweather fight Amir Khan? Was chasing the fight for so long. We need to get on the phone to Floyd and ask him, why did he not fight Amir Khan? Amir Khan wanted that fight badly. Do you think? Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather. I don't think he liked Khan. Probably, I don't know why. I don't know why, to be honest. It didn't ever make sense to me. Maybe he thought Khan's style was a bit of a. Maybe he thought Khan was a little risk, and the money wasn't worth the risk, when you could have fought other guys for probably maybe a little bit less money, but the risk wasn't as great. I don't know why he didn't. It didn't make sense to me. So do you think Carl Froch was the second best British fighter Eddie Hearn promoted? So after Joshua, Carl Froch, the second best fighter Eddie Hearn. What do you mean by the second best fighter? Some may argue that Carl Froch was better than some may say that Carl Froch was better than Anthony Joshua. He's ducking. Are you talking about pay-per-view buys and numbers and stuff like that, or are you talking about how good they are? He's ducking. Everybody. I don't know what you're asking, brother. Like, are you asking? What are you asking? Ability. Probably. I don't know. I don't know. It's a hard one, to be fair. Was Carl Froch number 2? Probably. Maybe number 1. Who knows? I don't know. The best fighter that Eddie Hearn promoted. I don't know. Like, Eddie Hearn's promoting Canelo right now, so that's the best fighter he's promoting. He's promoted Danny Jacobs. He's promoted. Yeah, I don't think Joshua was the best fighter he's promoted. I don't think so. I think he's promoted better fighters than Joshua, to be fair. Who else is, when we look at who else is Eddie Hearn promoted? I don't. Is Joshua? I don't know. It's a tough one, actually. Why many from the UK dislike Joe Calzaghe? I don't know where you've got that information from. Not many dislike Joe Calzaghe at all. Joe Calzaghe is considered a legend. Vitaly Klitschko would have gave these heavyweights like Fury, Joshua yeah, he would have. Vitaly Klitschko was a beast. Ability. Why many? No one dislikes Joe Calzaghe. Joe Calzaghe was a legend. No doubt about it. Joe Calzaghe was a great, without question. He was a great. So no, I don't think anyone disliked Calzaghe. Calzaghe was actually very liked here in the UK, to be honest with you. He's actually very admired, adored, Calzaghe. Yeah, he is. He is a legend. Richard, you're right. Yeah, Calzaghe's loved in the UK. He's a legend. Yeah, he is. He is loved. That's what I mean. Carl Froch wasn't loved. Carl Froch was actually hated. People didn't like Carl Froch. Do you support a football team or just watch boxing? I support Leicester City. We had a good win in the FA Cup. Do you think James DeGale underachieved? It's hard to say. He won a world title, Olympic gold medalist. I don't think he underachieved. I think he achieved I think he achieved what he could achieve in the sport. I think he had issues in the second half of the fight. I think his stamina went. I don't think his stamina was the greatest, to be fair. So I think he had issues with his stamina. I think he did quite well. First Olympic gold medalist to win a world title. So fair play to him. Calzaghe is not liked in the States because he fought Hopkins and Jones late in their careers and not in the prime fighters. But again, like I was saying earlier, brother, like I said earlier, that it's not Calzaghe's fault that he came a bit later in the sport when they weren't in his prime, when they weren't in their primes, because Calzaghe wasn't around when Jones was fighting in his prime, So, he missed Jones. So it's, again, you can't really criticize somebody, for coming, he was, missed his prime. Newcastle, man up the tune. Man up the tune, Newcastle. You're from Newcastle, Raymond. He sure is. He's one of my favorite. Too bad he didn't fight enough in America. He would have beaten them all. Possibly, yeah. He did beat them all. He beat everyone that he got in the ring with. I was gutted to see DeGale lose to Eubank. Did you predict that? No, I thought DeGale might win, but I think DeGale was finished at that point. Calzaghe won BBC personality. Not many boxers received that. Can't be hated much. Yeah, he wasn't hated at all, Cal. He wasn't. He was loved he was one of the most loved British fighters. James DeGale was never the same after the war with Jack. Yeah, he wasn't. That was brutal, wasn't it? James DeGale at the end of the fight was like so happy that his tooth had been knocked out. He was showing Mayweather his tooth and stuff. Yeah, that took a lot out of him. DeGale had injury problems and he was talented. The first Olympic gold medalist to win a world title. Yes, you're right. I mentioned that earlier, that he was the first Olympic gold medalist to win a world title, which is unbelievable. But he did have injury issues. And where is James DeGale now? James DeGale just disappeared. Made his money and disappeared. Fair play to the guy. He doesn't know nothing to do with boxing now. I don't care about it anymore. Just disappeared off the scene. Fair play. Mike Williams, my friend Mike, how are you, brother? Who wins, Brook v. Khan? We talking now? I don't know, man. I don't know. We're talking about two vulnerable fighters right now. Anyone can go. Anyone can give. It's too difficult for me to pick that one. Anyone can get knocked out in that one. Probably Khan, to be honest. But if Brook lands one, Khan could be out as well. It's a tough one. Where Brook looked finished against Crawford. That was a terrible. But then Khan looked bad against Crawford as well. That was terrible. They both looked like Brook looked good. To be fair, Brook looked good for like 2 rounds, right? But as soon as Crawford landed that stiff jab, Brook fell to pieces. I didn't understand. It was just a strange and bizarre it's almost embarrassing kind of ending. It was a really strange way to be knocked out. You know, it caught him flush on the eye, like here, and he just like lost his bearings. As you know, that shows to me that he's not the fighter he was. Badu Jack v. De Gale was a great fight. Oh, what a fight that was. Do you think Badu Jack won that? Do you think Badu Jack deserved that win for that fight? That was a close one. I agree with brother. I'm just saying why Calzaghe isn't liked here. I like Joe. All right, okay, yeah. Calzaghe in America. I don't know. I'm not from America, so I don't know what the people think about him there. Calzaghe was 35, 36 himself when he fought Hopkins and Jones. So could you say Calzaghe wasn't in his prime also? Yes, you could. But Calzaghe was probably more fresher than them. Do you see where I'm coming from? He was probably a lot more fresher than them, even though he was also old man himself, you know. Khan, in my opinion, out of all the Brit fighters, has made his name in America. He's fought as the famous menus, yeah. He has. He's done well. He's done well. He's had a good career. Do you think Warrington would have lost to Kid Galahad if they rematched him? Did he win the first fight? Did Josh Warrington beat him the first time? It was a scrappy, horrible, ugly fight. Don't want to see that fight again. Don't want to see that fight again. And would he have lost the rematch? No, I would have seen another ugly, horrible fight. And I don't know. I think that would have been a close one. Would have been a close one again. But I don't want to see that kind of rubbish. That was terrible. That was a horrible fight to watch. So, you know, that's the kind of fight, you know, when you're tired and you can't get to sleep, you watch that and go to sleep. He's retired and developing properties. Yeah. Fair play to James DeGale. You know, he made his money. And now he's living life. Fair play. Naseem Hamed v. Barrera classic. Is Barrera well known? Is Barrera well known in the UK? Barrera is seen as a legend in the UK. Barrera is a legend in the UK. Trust me, everyone knows Marco Antonio Barrera. He fought Amir Khan, but Amir Khan obviously fought Barrera when it was at the end of his career. But Barrera was, he was legend. And he fought Naseem, of course. And he battered Naseem Hamed. Too good for Naz, to be honest with you. Too good for him. Outclassed him. The car channel, Anthony Joshua v. Tyson Fury. Who win now? Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury beats him. Naz was an underachiever. He could have been a name like Pacquiao, Mayweather if he won some big fights, stayed on for 10 years. Yeah, could have, would have, should have, you know, but I don't think he had that motivation, that determination that Mayweather and Pac had. They were something else. Burning Desire, Naz was one trick pony. He was going to get found out later on. I personally think Naz was a little overrated. But everyone has their opinion. He's very highly thought of in the UK. In America, they don't really think very highly of him, to be honest. They don't rate him very highly. But again, it is what it is. Everyone views Naz differently. Yeah, good fighter without question. So guys, give it another couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna end this live stream. It's been a long live stream, and then I will do one tomorrow as well. I'll do one tomorrow with you guys. It'll be great to do another one. Naz brought me into boxing. Yeah, he brought a lot of people into boxing. What an exciting guy. You know, a showman, great fighter, showman, exciting guy. Yeah, he did great. Naz did great in terms of, you know, he in my opinion, Naz grew boxing. You know, probably one of the most watched fighters. You know, I think he was so exciting, and definitely probably one of the most exciting British fighters of all time. Probably one of the most exciting featherweights ever. You know, he was unbelievably exciting. But was he that great as a fighter? He was good, but I don't think he was a pound for pounder. No way Josh Warrington beat Galahad. That fight was horrible. Galahad fought a dirty, and the referee was a joke. Warrington, one of my top 5 favorite. Too bad he lost. Fair enough. Warrington, yeah, Warrington. A lot of people thought he lost that against Galahad. Galahad did well. Galahad did well in that fight, but it was a terrible fight. Terrible fight. It was horrible to watch. Who's Naseem Hamed. He retired with 30 million in the bank, richer than Mayweather back then. Fair enough. Naseem Hamed or Prince Bad, he was known. Naseem Hamed or Prince Bad, he was known as known as. He was known as Prince Naz. Yeah, he was. His Naseem Hamed. Naseem Hamed was his name, and then Prince was his nickname. So yeah, tomorrow I'll do another live stream, probably about like Crawford or Spence. Why that fight's not happening. And then obviously on Friday I'll do Dillian White v Povetkin. And we'll talk about that. I really enjoyed the live stream today, by the way. I didn't expect this kind of like response. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was great. It was great speaking to you guys. He was one of the greatest punchers of all time, though. 36 wins, 31 KOs. Yeah, he was. I'm getting bored of Spence. He's ducking. Yeah, I'm getting bored of him as well. What time tomorrow? Same time, 7:30. Is that all right with all of you? 7:30 tomorrow. 7:30ish, same time. If you want me to do another time, let me know what time's best. Yes, sounds good. Work, Imran. Spence is overrated. Possibly. I don't think so. I think Spence is good. I think Spence is a great fighter. A bit late. What time? Burning Desire. What time? When you say a bit late, 8 o'clock. 7:30 is perfect. I'll be at 9. In it at 9. Yeah, fair enough. I'll probably do around 8 then. Is that all right, everyone? 8 o'clock tomorrow, and then we'll catch up again at 8 o'clock. I'll set the reminder right now. Once I finish this, I'll set another live for 8 o'clock, and then we'll do another live stream tomorrow. That'll be great. Spence doesn't want the smoke with Crawford. He's ducking. Yeah, I'm getting a bit frustrated. It's been good, this Imran. Thank you, Raymond. I appreciate it. Yeah, I enjoyed it, to be honest. I enjoyed the live stream. It was really good, really good. Kushti, does this help with your algorithm? Probably. I don't know. Possibly. Yeah, I think it would do. Yeah, definitely. Been great. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. What time is it in the UK? California time is 3:15 p.m. What time? Yeah, 8 p.m. in UK time. So let's check what time it would be for California. So you live in California, Jessica? So 8 p.m. UK time in California. That'll be 1 o'clock. So 8 p.m. in the United Kingdom, the time in the California is 1 o'clock. Yeah, so you live in Los Angeles. So 8 p.m. UK. 8 p.m. UK time in Los Angeles. Yeah, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Yeah. Good. I'll try my best to be here as much as I can. That's fine, Cole. Yeah, 7:30 UK time. Don't waste your time on EastEnders, Imran. Show any day. I don't watch EastEnders. That's boring, to be fair. I find that stuff. Okay, I just wrote it down. Thank you. Appreciate it. You know what I'm gonna start doing, guys? I'm gonna also start getting like you guys on the live stream and interviewing you guys. So if any of you want to be on the channel, I would love to have you guys on. So let me know if you want to be on the channel. You should crack open a bottle of Echo Falls. I don't drink, brother. So I don't drink. I'm shy. Burning desire. I'm shy. Why are you shy? Come on the camera. Anyone who would want to be on? I'll come on. All right, yeah, I'll have you on, Raymond. I've got another one that I want to come on. So what I'll do is I've got you on my Facebook group, Raymond. So I'll get in contact with you when I sort it out. And we can either do a live or I can interview you on like on my Mac, and then I can upload it as a video or as a live, whatever we like. I've got you on Facebook anyway, so I'll get in touch. But yeah, all of you that want to be on, like I'll message me like in the community section. Get Ty and Booth go on, and he'll gladly go on your views. I don't know whether Ty and Booth would want to come on my channel. Hopefully, let's see. If my channel gets to that level, then I'll definitely contact Ty and Booth and get him on for sure. I'd love to to be honest, I'd love to interview him. I'd love to. I'll message him on I'd message him on Instagram, because I've got quite a few followers on Instagram. So I'll message him. See what he says, try getting him on. But yeah, Raymond, I'll definitely have you on. Burning Desire, if you want to come on, just let me know. I can have you on. Cal, I'd love to have you on, brother. Jessica, if you want to come on, just let me know. I'd love to speak to you guys, and that it'd be just so much better viewing rather than me talking to you guys. Having one of you guys on it'll be brilliant. I'd love it. I'd love it. I'd love to have one of you guys on, talk boxing for sure. We can do it at a time when when you're free and stuff. Like 7:30, 8 o'clock usually good, especially right now here in the UK. We're in lockdown, so we're in lockdown. You know what? Who I'm gonna get onto? Who I'm Burning Desire. You know who I'm gonna look to get on my channel eventually. I'm gonna look to get Amir Khan on. He's messaged me on Twitter, by the way. He's seen some of my videos. He has messaged me and he said thank you, Imran, for your support. So Amir Khan has acknowledged me on Twitter. So hopefully I'll get him on one day on my channel. But right now I wanna interview some of you and see, like, it'll just be better viewing, to be honest. It'll be great to watch. Get Khan on, ask him. I will. If I get him on, I'll definitely ask him about Brook. I'll ask him, is the Brook fight gonna happen? Or why didn't the Brook fight happen? I'll definitely ask him. For sure. Hopefully I can get other. That would be awesome, to be fair. That would be awesome. He'd come on as well, to be fair. He's quite good like that, to be fair. He'd definitely come on as well. But right now I want to get some of you guys on. I want to get some of you guys on my channel. And then it'll be good. Do you want Froch number? No, I don't want Froch. Like Froch, like, I don't know, Froch. I'd feel awkward interviewing him, to be fair. I don't know. I just feel awkward interviewing him. Like, it'd be difficult with Froch, won't it? What do I like? Yeah, it'd be difficult with Froch. Who else? What other British fighter? I like interviews. So give some of the younger ones some, like, yeah, Froch is finished now, but it'd be good to get his opinions on stuff. I know someone who knows him well. But I'd love to give, like, some, younger guys, like, the younger generation coming up, like, give them some coverage. Because obviously they're the next guys that are coming up. Do you know what I mean? It'd be good to have some of them on, the younger ones. Some of the older generation tell their story. O'Hara Davis, it would be great to have him on. Great to have O'Hara Davis on. He's kind of disappeared a little bit, hasn't he? After losing to Taylor, he just disappeared as well. I was expecting more from O'Hara Davis. He's disappeared. Yeah, he would come on, to be fair. But he's disappeared off the he doesn't fight much anymore. Disappointing after the defeat to Taylor, he's just disappeared. I could ask Mike for you. Mike, who's Mike? He won the golden contract, but like what I mean is like I was expecting him to be at world level or fighting like, you know, oh Michael Mickinson. Yeah, that would be good. I'd love to have him on. Love to have him on. You know, let him concentrate on his fight. Hopefully he gets the win against Congo. Then definitely I'd love to have him on. I'd love to have Michael Mickinson on. Let's see if he gets the win. Let him concentrate on his fight against Congo, gets the win, and then we'll have him on for sure. Sonny Edwards would be good. Yeah, he's a good fighter as well, isn't he? Sonny Edwards. He's quite a happy lucky go kind of character as well. So yeah, he'd be a good guy to speak to. I think Tyron Booth will be the best interview you could do. Will open so many topics. Yeah, Tyron Booth he's a funny character. To be honest, but I've seen him in interviews. He's quite different though. He's not like he is in his videos. He's more reserved and he's more serious in interviews. Like when you're asking him questions, he's more reserved. He's more of a Prince Patel. He's disappeared. He's disappeared. Prince Patel's just gone off the scene. Can O'Hara Davis make it to world level? Can O'Hara Davis make it to world level? Yeah. Can he win at world level? That's the question. Yeah, he can make it to world level. I feel like O'Hara Davis could fight Prograis. You know, I don't think he wins, but he could fight Prograis. And he can punch, can't he, O'Hara Davis? He can punch a little. So I think you know the way the fight went with Taylor wasn't great. Martinez v Edwards, you think that was a fair? Martinez v Edwards, when did that happen? Is he on the brink of world level? Who? O'Hara Davis? Well, he won the golden contract, like you said, but I need to see him against some of the top. I think his feet let him down. Yeah, very flat-footed. He's not technically very sound. Yeah, Taylor fight was bad. You know, Taylor beat him. Coogan's bent legs. That's Tyan's terms, isn't it? Coogan's bent. He's brilliant, you know. I have to say, like, you know, he's done really well for himself on YouTube. Like, I know some of his stuff is controversial, but he does well. What's that? Yeah, he's funny character. He's Tyan Booth. He's funny, mate. He's a funny character. Whose number's that? I'm not calling that number if it's Carl Froch. 100% Fight Gamer. I 100% have you on, without question. Tyson Fury ended his career as a top 15. What, top 15 fighter of all time? I need to go back and watch that, Jessica. Julio Cesar Martinez v with Charlie Edwards. I need to watch that one. Surely that's not Carl Froch's number. Surely that's not Carl Froch's number that you're giving me there. Charlie Edwards for Julio Cesar Martinez a few years ago. All time, yes. What was that? All time, yes. To be honest, I don't think so. No, top 15, man. There's some great fighters in that. Charlie Edwards from Julio Cesar Martinez a few years ago. All-time, no, I don't think so. Jay Harris is better than Edwards. I know his mate. Jay Harris is better than Edwards. Bro, try it. I'm not trying that number. No, that's no chance. Jay Harris, good fighter. Have you seen Naseem Hamed's son train at all? Looks good. He can probably follow his dad's footsteps. It's difficult when your dad's that good, and it's difficult to follow your dad's footsteps. To be honest, it's very difficult. Sometimes it's nigh on impossible to get to that level. But you know, hopefully he can have a good career. Tell him someone from YouTube face you his number. I can't do it, brother, because if it is Carl Froch and ask for an interview, nah. But that's like I can't just nah. That's wrong. Nas' son never had amateur fights. Yeah, yeah. If Dillian White loses, is it over for him? Yes. I believe he can come back, but I do think it's going to be difficult for him for sure. Who do you think of? How do you think of Andrew Selby? I like him. Andrew Selby. Andrew Selby. Let me have a chat at Andrew Selby. Selby. I've heard the name. Okay, Welsh. Okay, Welshman. It was World Championships bronze medalist, European flyweight. He fights at flyweight. He's Lee Selby's brother. Oh right, okay, yeah. Now I know. Yeah, Andy is his brother, Lee Selby's brother. But you know what? There's been a lot of talk. Like Lee Selby was a letdown for me. Yeah, Lee Selby was a letdown for me. Everyone thought that this guy was going to go on to become like a Welsh wizard, and he was a bit of a letdown. Booth, and seems to have a lot of time on his hands. Yeah, I will definitely try to get in contact with Time Booth without question. Without question. You know who Mohammed Wasim is? Yes, the Pakistani boxer. He trained with Roger as well, didn't he? Not Roger. Sorry, trained with Jeff Mayweather. He's now with MTK. I think Amir Khan's working with him as well. Got into Olympics over Haroon. Yes, he did. Was it Andrew Selby that got over Haroon? Was it because Haroon was talking about how he didn't get the opportunity? Was it? I mean, Haroon wasn't allowed to fight because he fought for Pakistan. I'm pretty sure he wasn't allowed because he fought to Pakistan at the Commonwealth. And I think that was the reason why he wasn't. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I know that Haroon wasn't happy that he wasn't selected. And he was going to fight at the Olympics for Pakistan. Can Wilder still be a force? He once was. Yes, Wilder can be a force. Wilder can definitely be a force for sure. Wilder's got power. They did Haroon wrong. I don't even know why he represented Pakistan, even though Khan helped Team GB boxing. Yeah. You know, well, I guess, you know, they probably didn't think he was as good as brother, I suppose. Yeah. He didn't qualify with Britain. Yeah, he didn't. God knows why. He wasn't happy though. Apparently when he went to Pakistan and he fought for Pakistan, he did pretty well at the Commonwealth. I think he won did he win bronze? And he beat the British guy in the quarterfinals, I think. And then Haroon lost to the Indian in the semis, was it? I think something like that. Anyway. Last couple minutes, guys, and then I'm going to end it. Is Edgar Berlanga a hype job? Edgar Berlanga. Not fought anyone yet, though, has he? You know, he's not fought anyone. It's too early yet for Edgar Berlanga. He needs to step up a little bit. He can be a good pro, Haroon. He hardly fights. He's retired. Like, didn't you hear his interview? He said that he's not going to fight anymore. He got injured. He had an injury. He's not fighting anymore. Andrew Selby was good too. He was are a bit better than Harun Khan. To be honest, I didn't see any of them fight, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I can't really say. Maybe he was. I don't know. I didn't see either of them fight, to be fair. So I don't know. If Canelo fought at Wembley Stadium, you think he would sell it out? Yes, he would. I think against the right opponent, he would sell it out. Who could Canelo fight and sell out Wembley? Andrew Selby got selected over Kauya Fai's brother. What, Gamal? Prince Patel v Coogan on undercard of AJ Fury. That would get some views, won't it? Do you think Deontay Wilder will get a title fight again? Yeah, I believe so. I hope so. I hope so. If the first Fury fight, AJ fight, goes as we think, Fury by KO, then will it be a second point in the fight? That's definitely something that will, I think may affect the fight. If the first fight is so one-sided, will the second fight be as good? But who knows, right? All right, guys, tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Again, I'll be here again. I'll see you guys tomorrow. So, guys, I'm going to sign out now, and I'll speak to you all. I hope you enjoyed it. Would Froch have beaten Canelo around 2017? It's a tough one. I think Canelo, if they fight prime for prime, I would favor Canelo. But here's what it is. But anyway, guys, tomorrow, I'll see you all tomorrow, all right? We'll talk again tomorrow. It's getting late now, isn't it? For 3 hours almost. But yeah, take care, everyone. And remember, if you want to be on, then just message me, all right? Message me in the chat or message me wherever, and I'll get one of you on. All right? I'll message you. Cheers. I'll see you guys. Peace. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you ain't subbed. And I'll see you tomorrow. Adios.